There you go.
All right, I think we're live. Today is July 30th, 2026, 9 a.m. And we're going to resume the meeting we adjourned, the budget hearings we adjourned yesterday evening. And we'll start the day with the health department with Brittany here in just a moment. But before we do, I got an email from Paige at Baker Tilly. And I know there's some communication back and forth about how we want to interact with them, and the option is on the table of on Friday or tomorrow. Do we want them to travel here, be in person, and we go over our annual budget expenses or revenue they generally provide, the amount of revenue that we'll receive from the state, or do you want to do it virtually on the screen and I can have them join us that way?
Are they going to give us paperwork on the numbers like
I
they
can
have
have
in
them
the past?
email it to me if you want to do it virtually. I'll print it out.
I
and
would
give
say
everybody
let's
a
do it
copy.
that way.
I say
If that's
virtually,
okay with
virtually.
everybody else.
Yep.
As long as we got the paperwork, we can follow along with her.
Okay.
As long as we got the paperwork, so we can follow along, virtually will be fine with us.
Well, Brittany, if it won't offend you, you talk and I'll send her an email and then I'll listen in.
Not at all. I double time it all the time.
All right.
Which one do you want to start on though? Does it matter?
Whatever's best with you. I don't know if you want to go through some of the smaller.
Just give us
ones
the funds,
would
that
stay.
number on top, so we
Yeah.
know, because it might not be the same in your books, what we got in our book, so we can.
Oh, that's right. We did that last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's just start with the 1159, which is
Okay, that's
the
what we got first.
county budget.
Work that
Okay,
one
perfect.
straight, Yeah.
Basically, 1159 is the same as it was last year, except for the 10% raise. I did have to increase the trash collection a little bit because it keeps going up. And the fire extinguisher replacement was $50 more than it was before, so I just upped it $50. But other than that, the 1159 is exactly what it was last year.
You said you raised what now, the trash and what else? I'm sorry.
The fire extinguisher. Last year or this year, I had to come and ask for a little bit more because we only had 500 instead of 550. So I just upped it a little bit. Any questions on that one? Okay. 8108. You have that one?
1186, 68 is our next one, whatever you want to go to. What'd you say?
8108, it's like
That's
2
on-
pages back.
Yeah.
It says Health Department Co-Ag for emergency response.
Okay, gotcha. We're there.
This one is basically our school liaison and nurse educator. This is all exactly the same as it was last year, except for the 10% raise. So that one was easy. $8106. Last year, I had the paramedics, the MIH program that we do with EMS in this 8106. I'm not going to have enough money this year to put that in 8106. I'm going to use carryover money from HFI from 2025 to cover the paramedicine program for this year. I think it's really, really important that we keep that program. It's working really, really well. And I know you talked to Nick yesterday, but I'm just pushing that too. It's one of those things that we've got to try to figure out how to keep it going. And I know you talked about reimbursements. We're pushing the state for that too. It's just a process to get things to that point. I think once they can start doing reimbursements, they should be able to take on this. But I think we need to try to keep it as long as we can.
Absolutely. I think you've done a good job of doing that too.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know
think
if you
it's
followed along yesterday. We did some quick math on numbers Nick had, but if they see, I think he said, and I'm going off of my memory, so if I'm wrong, forgive me, but 90-ish patients, 92, 96, something like that a week. Anyway, it averaged out to like $25 a visit, and that's just invaluable, I think. And when you break it down that way, like, I don't see how anybody could not see the value in keeping that.
And it's keeping people out of the hospital that were going to the ER just for random things. It's keeping them out. Plus, we've had a couple doctors, even on our health board, that are like, we've noticed an improvement. There's even been a couple people that have come to the ER that the MIH ladies brought them in and they wouldn't have come in otherwise, and they could have died. Like it's life or death, and they don't want to go to the ER. So they physically took them there. And so they're saving lives and helping with long-term health problems. So
Well,
it's a really good program.
it also, like you said, if you have a bunch of people, I think there's a double-sided coin. There's the people who run to the ER every time they stub their toe, and then there's the people who won't go. Like Collins, we'd have to drag him in.
Yeah.
And the ones that we get to go see that are I'll run in there for anything, they slow down the process of someone who really truly needs ER help because the beds are tied up, et cetera.
Yeah.
So if we're stopping 90 plus of those a week in our small hospital, that's a huge time saver for the people who truly need it.
Definitely. So anyway, back to 8106. That's all I took out of 8106 was the paramedicine. I left everything else that was in there last year, so it's pretty much the same as it was last year also, besides that. 1168. This is the same as last year. This helps pay for our summer help and our interns. Thank you, Marley. We have 2 interns this summer who are amazing, and I don't know how we would have done it without them this year because it's been really crazy. This back to school stuff it's nuts this year. The girls gave over 200 shots in 2 days at Austin schools just this week. So, and we have a big clinic on Friday. So we need a lot of extra help. So this is the same as it was last year. Then we have 1161. This is the HFI, the Health First Indiana. This is the one that last year you guys made a bunch of cuts on, which is fine, but we are getting that $154,104.60. So as far as the state goes, I have to make sure every penny is allotted. So if you cut something, I just have to move it somewhere else to make that number add up, if that makes sense.
It does. Let me ask you this. Yesterday when we talked to Nick, there's a school of thought that maybe we need to work with the auditor on, but he seems to think PERF, FICA, all of that is covered by him on those, and you're just paying salaries. So if you have that budgeted here, is it going to be used or is it not?
Well, that is what I just talked to her about when I walked in. We're not sure. I thought I was paying it. He thought he was paying it. And it's not easy for us just to look in Lao and figure it out because Trina just has to take lump sums.
Yeah.
It's very complicated. So when Trina gets back Monday, we're going to figure that out. On my 1161 carryover, I put that separate. I have the perf in there and the fringe in there. So I guess we just need to figure out who is actually paying it, and then we can take it out of mine or his.
I guess, and I'm fine with approving as is. I don't want you to think I'm not. And I'm absolutely not nitpicking. I'm just wanting to make sure A, it's paid, and B, where it is, because if that money is paid by EMS, then we need to free it up and allow you to do something else. And I'm more than willing to change that or, amend this. I think the only thing at this point, and, correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, but as long as we stay within the 173,000 line, we can pretty much change that or move those monies into any other function within that budget with that before we ever submit it. So as long as we keep the bottom line the same, we can do whatever we need to do with, quick math. I'm looking at, what's that, $50,000. So,
Which is significant. Yeah.
which would help you significantly.
Yeah. And I didn't know that
Not
till he
saying-
said that yesterday. And I'm
Not
like,
saying Nick
shoot.
don't need 50,000 either, but
Right.
I understand. And as long as the 3 of you work together, I think this board is
Well, I
fine.
appreciate you guys working together.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good collaboration for sure.
Other than that, I'm good with it, and I appreciate you digging in and finding a way to keep the
Yes.
community paramedicine. Because
And that's another thing I want to talk about for HFI. So HFI, obviously the budget's already set for 2027 because of the state budget year. But the State Department of Health is really, really pushing legislators to give us more money for HFI for 28 and 29. And so I want all of you to reach out to your legislators and let them know we've got to increase this HFI. And Dr. Weaver really thinks that we are going to get some more money because now we have some good data that shows our return on investment. And it's showing that with all of this money they've given to health departments, there's a big return on investment. And she said the governor really likes that. So she thinks that it's going to be a little bit easier this budget period to kind of get some more money for 28 and 29. But we need everybody to reach out and let their legislators know that we really need to support this, that it helps everybody in the community. So
And one of the conversations I've had with a couple of them is the community paramedicine. And so I think it's an excellent move to put it in that budget, just to be able to say, look, this is what we paid for with it. And you're getting the most bang for your buck here. I mean, literally $25 a visit is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You can't hardly go to McDonald's and not spend $25 anymore. So,
yes, and I want to thank those of you that came to our Dr. Weaver visit. That was a very good visit. The state was very happy with the amount of partners we had there. A lot of them were like, I can't believe you have this many partners that showed up for you. And I'm like, yeah, we have really good collaboration in this county and partnerships. So I really appreciate that. And then obviously the 10% raise, we know we're probably not going to get that, but we didn't get a raise last year because we had gotten, a significant one a few years ago. So I'm really pushing for at least a little bit of a raise. We have really good staff right now, and I really need to keep them. And I mean, they don't work there for the money. They work there because they want to, but probably half my staff has a second job just to bring in extra money. And that's sad, but it's the reality of the situation. So I push for that, obviously, anything we can get to help them out, keep them.
yes, ma'am. And I don't know, we're not at a point to speak on raises yet.
Yeah, I know.
think something,
Yeah.
but I don't know what. And I don't know that it's going to be a flat percentage this year, just because I know we did the wage and salary study, and we did it in 2 phases. So the first phase is primarily focusing on the courthouse to try to alleviate some of the discrepancies in the offices there.
Right.
The second phase will be more spreading out, where we'll look at your salaries, and even not only salaries, but they're looking at job descriptions. And somewhere Jennifer's got a binder that, I mean, it's enormous of job descriptions.
That's half of it.
Yeah.
That's
So-
half of it right there.
So we're gonna try and streamline some of this, and it's not been hard looked at for 20+ years.
Yeah.
So, while I'm committed to raises for whoever we can within the budget and all of that, if it's disproportionate this year, just know it's a long-term plan, and I hope everybody can
Absolutely.
see the process and understand we're not gonna quit with the one. We intend to continue and look at all of the outside agencies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, which
just,
you have to
I'm
do.
just being, honest, transparent.
Absolutely.
That's the way I think we can tackle this, because it's been, if it was a 5-year thing, I think you could probably look at the whole county, but you go 20 years, this county is drastically different than what it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But
All right.
I really don't have much questions
No
on your budget.
questions.
I appreciate you doing what you always do and tackling the numbers. You generally always, minus some transfers or something, stay within, and that means the world to us.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brittany, we'll get those answers for you
Okay.
Monday.
Thanks.
Keep your head up, Marley.
Next one is Stacy Turner with area plan.
She's not here. Anybody want got any questions or anything we need to discuss, or anybody want to do a potty break now before we?
We can, if anybody.
mean, be
Yeah, we'll
flexible.
just mute it until the next one comes in.
I'm like, okay, you're on.
All right, we're back on here with Miss Stacy Turner from Area Plan and Zoning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you? So a lot of changes happened in the 2026 year in the area plan world. How's that going?
It's going. It's a lot busier than I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
It is busy.
Which is
I
good.
just-
That means
Yeah,
growth.
it's good. But that is why I'm requesting the part-time person to go from 21 hours a week to the max of 28 hours a week if possible.
Okay.
And then I know in the courthouse, part-time ranges from 11 something to 18 something. So I don't know if you're gonna, get that across the board, one fee or whatever, but I do ask that she go from 21 to 28 hours and then whatever the council decides as far as a part-time classification.
And I think in the past, what we have done is just said, the budgeted amount of money is there and
Okay.
everybody kind of sets what their own is and that's how we let it run. Is everybody on the board still agree with that or do we want to set one set
Well,
rate?
it's the only bad thing about that is if like recorder has a part-time person at 11 something an hour and let's just say the clerk has someone at 18 something an hour, it's going to be hard for the recorder to get a part-time person
Right.
or the area plan person or whoever.
I think we'll know more about that when we get the study back.
Yeah.
To be honest
Right.
with you, so, yeah.
And I don't know if they've come around or if they just got the job descriptions, but I haven't seen anyone, like, no one's come in our office to ask us anything, but they did, we sent their job description, so
Did they call you?
I don't
Has Lori
believe so.
called? Okay, because she did I know there's been some departments, she's not mentioned yours, I can find out if you
Okay.
like.
Yeah,
see if she has any
I've
questions.
sent paperwork, but I haven't talked with anyone.
Okay,
So, it is a lot. We do a lot, but as of yesterday, we've collected $28,097 in fees. So, I mean, I had my part-time person's salary in June covered.
Yeah.
So, and that's
Where
really,
how does those fees work? Do they go in the
they go back to the general fund,
back?
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that was a question I had too. I didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
Because I know some places that collect fees have a perpetuation fund that goes into that and then.
Different things go to different, just as an example, the transfer station used to go the general fund, but now it's going to its own fund. And that would be an option to make their own fund if you want to pay them out.
That's what I was wondering, why can't we do that for her? Just put
Could be a
her money
possibility,
She
yes.
gets and then put it back in. That's part of her budget. She can pull
Yeah.
from or.
Or you can, and maybe that's a question I can run by Heather to make sure there's not some legal reason why. But
Right.
if so, maybe we just develop a perpetuation fund or whatever it's called. I'm sure that's the name of it. Cause like the coroner has one, the recorder has one, the clerk has one. And the rules that are set up whenever you set the fund is payroll is one of them. So then if you're accepting fees for your work, it's money that's used more earmarked for what you
Well,
need.
and each permit, part of it goes to area plan and part of it goes to building commission. So it is separated and we do a separate report of collection. Like each time I do a report of collection, it is for each fund. So I can keep that separate too.
Anytime we can get a department to be self-sufficient, I think that's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Well, and two, once I know that there's talk about a code enforcer. If we could get a code enforcer that could collect fees on violations being had and not acting on them. We just actually, right before I came over, found letters that Marty had, proposed that she sent. I think that was her first step, and then it would go to a code enforcer or whatever to collect fees if they don't cooperate with what was requested or to clean up the violation or what have you. If we could get a fee schedule there, that would be, because I have probably 5 complaints on different properties in the community right now and 2 people that hasn't gotten permits. If we had some way of enforcing that or coming, you know, that would help too. Those fees would.
I'll just be honest, for me, I struggle with growing government, adding positions when by law, the sheriff has to enforce county
Well,
ordinances.
and what I was gonna say is, my thought on that was, it needs to be law enforcement, because law enforcement's gonna have to go with them.
Exactly.
And
So
if you're going-
every time that enforcer goes out, more than likely, he's gonna have to take law enforcement.
And if you're going out telling somebody that we, the government, don't agree with your property, and if you don't fix it, we, the government, are gonna take it, that's a pretty volatile situation to put someone in.
Well, and I think it's more fines, you know, if you don't clean up, or you don't get the permit, or you don't do this, it'd be fines, but still, that's not gonna be taken well, I'm sure. If we can do it in a way, and I don't know, other counties could help us with it,
Right.
that, okay, you get a letter first, you get 30 days, 60 days, whatever. We can help you if you need it with mowing or this or that. I don't know how it works, but, you know, if we don't just go in there marching and taking stuff out or whatever.
And I can't imagine that's a full-time career either. I mean, I know we have some properties, but once
Yeah,
you
if we
get
could
a-
just have I don't know.
once you get a start on it and people understand
Right.
you mean business, you're gonna do it. I mean, the city has one, but I don't know how busy that person stays.
And I don't know if we could use that, you know, I don't know if that person could be used in the county also. I don't know how that works.
That's
But,
Definitely
I
something
mean,
to
that's
check
just a
into,
thought. That would bring fees into, or not, but it would do one or the other. It would clean
Right.
up areas, have people get permits, or it would collect fees. So that's a thought.
Stacy, you have any idea, this all happened before you came along, but how much revenue we may be losing because Scottsburg and Austin took the 2-mile radius?
Quite a bit.
Well, the reason I'm asking that is, and this probably falls back on a few years ago, and even when I was a commissioner, when that happened, they just came, they didn't ask, they just took. And,
I wondered how that worked, because
well, the law allowed them to just take it, but we should have probably called an attorney, and I think they have to take areas where they plan on growing. And that probably, you tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think we got people out in Johnson Township, it's not even going through us now, because it fits in the 2-mile radius at Austin or Scottsburg.
well, it depends.
But I
I'm
mean, I
not
don't
real-
think growth is going that way.
Well, true. I would suggest and request or whatever, not to let any more go.
Well, I
You
think,
know, not let any more go to the cities, because we're gonna, if it does that, then we need a central area plan zoning
yeah,
department of all 3 departments. You know, we'd all have to work together.
and they did what they were thinking of where they were gonna grow, but I think when you take 2 miles every direction,
Right.
that probably
It's
takes you
kinda
some
hit and
areas we
miss, too.
probably should have kept.
You're right. We should have. That's my feelings. We should have, but
It's over now, and we'd have,
Right.
maybe we could still, we wouldn't be up to us, but
okay.
I think there's some lost revenue there we could be picking.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, I deal with it probably once a week. Someone's coming in to get a permit and they're in that fringe.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Stacy, on the budget, and don't think I'm picking on you, I just got questions. But I've got the current one pulled up that we're working on, and there's a
Okay.
lot of lines that we haven't used at all. Do we need them, or do we need to modify them?
okay, and
I don't know.
well, like travel and mileage and meetings and training, there is an opportunity. I started giving that to my board, but we haven't taken the opportunity yet. I honestly, with the amount of work I haven't been able to
Time to go.
no, I haven't. I would like to. And then, like, when Missy was in, she went to another county and trained for a day, or had someone come here and help train. I mean, I'd love to do that, but trying to get that done, I just haven't had a chance to. So I haven't used meeting and training or the mileage yet. I've had 2 different conference type things that was sent to me that we could use, and I put it in there in case we do use it. So I have not used that, no.
Okay. The legal notices, do you still use that?
I haven't. We haven't got to the point where I have to step in. The person doing the application pays for that legal fee. So I haven't had, so that is something that we might not use because I haven't had it. I just didn't know.
None of these are big
No.
ticket items, I'm just wondering.
But they're, like the legal notices are $40
Each.
each. So I just put that in there because I didn't know last year, but I haven't had to use it. So I don't see me having to use it yet.
And then the longevity is still good for you at 1,400. That gets paid out at the end of the year. I know that's why it's 100%. And then on your part-time, over on the side here, it says part-time move 28 hours a week at 17 an hour, total of 18,564. That's not far off of where you're at now. So
Right.
And even
But if you went, I think the 10% was the 1850. So I'm requesting 28 hours. And then however you do the classification, if you do it, leave it up to me, then I would of course ask for the 1850.
Okay.
If you do it across the board and make something, make it where every part-time person is the same, then of course,
and
we'll do that. But I just request her hours to be up to 28
the
hours.
reason I was asking about all the 100% lines is because I'm sitting here thinking outside of budget hearing, if you did a request to take your part-time line that's budgeted at $18,018 right now to 18,564 in a regular meeting, we could do a transfer, some of those lines that you're not using
True.
to that,
Okay.
allow you to use your person more currently,
Uh-huh.
and not be in a bind there.
Okay, yeah,
So
She
if there's lines in there that you don't think you'll be able to use,
sure. Okay,
100%, I think everybody on this board will probably unanimously vote to transfer
perfect.
because we generally have.
Okay.
Unless there's some reason we wouldn't, I don't know of, but
Mhm.
the budget's there. If we need to move those around to give you more time to help you get
Okay.
things going, I would definitely entertain that and it would have my vote for transfers.
Okay, perfect, yeah.
And then I know you, because I serve on the area plan board as well, so I know there was a question about the attorney contract and things. That's up this year, so it gets rewritten. Will it stay roughly 6 or you don't know?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I haven't talked to any other attorneys because I kind of want to get with the board this next month and see I don't know how that process works. Do I get 3-5 attorneys to interview? Do I don't know how that works yet.
I understand. Well,
And I sent an email, but I haven't really had a good answer to that.
I understand that. I will give you my opinion later. But other than that, either way, I mean, if you got the 6, and just so everybody on this board knows, that pays for the attorney for the area plan board. It's not really specifically her office attorney. It's the one that serves on that board for when people come in and ask for changes or whatever. They're at all the meetings, and they're usually the ones who draft up changes to ordinances to send in recommendations.
And I do
to the
believe that we're going to need quite a bit of that coming
Yeah,
up.
we need a lot of that.
Yeah.
I think we need to start back at square one with
I
some of that.
believe so.
So, yep, I'm good with everything else. Anybody else got any other questions? On the back, after her budget, she put the money that they're bringing in, and I've made myself a note. I will definitely ask Heather for the legal opinion.
newest one as of yesterday.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask Heather's legal opinion for getting like a perpetuation fund set up, but I think, like Colin said, that's probably the best is, the money you guys bring in and stays with your office, and that way it's more self-sufficient for the work you're doing. appreciate all the things you've done, and
Well, thank
I know
you.
it's been a lot put on you this year, and
It
jumping
is,
in and taking care
it
of
is a lot busier than I ever expected, but
Well,
I guess that's a good thing.
it's good. We got growth coming, and it's
Yeah.
definitely,
Lexington is up to like 45 permits.
which is unheard of because that area has been stagnant our whole county's been stagnant numbers. I'm anxious to see what our population numbers are going to be in the next.
They're definitely the most permits so far.
And I know the one little subdivision we approved,
Yeah,
they're starting the process on it.
okay, good.
So, sounds good. Thank
All right.
you, ma'am. It's good to see
Anything
you.
else? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Stacy.
How are you? All right. Jennifer, what are they?
Drug-free community.
Drug-free.
That's what she's here for.
We'll probably talk about Wednesday.
Watch this one. Three rooms in.
There's things we just talked about, without people getting here.
Yeah.
We'll get that lunch after that, maybe get them here earlier, whatever.
Okay.
Another commissioner.
I think-
Talk about that.
If we get through some of these that are scheduled and then maybe knock out some of the small ones like cemetery board, some of that
County
stuff.
council.
Yeah, can our budget, we can probably talk Jennifer's budget, and get some of that stuff done in the downtime.
I didn't see that.
If everybody's good with that.
You ready for
More.
Ready for it?
Yeah, you,
Or
Come on
tomorrow,
up.
tomorrow.
Chris?
I didn't even see the paper, maybe.
Hi.
Good morning.
how are you?
Good morning. I'm good. So the Drug Free Communities Fund is actually drug interdiction fees that the court assesses. This became state statute in 1989. So those are held in the Drug Free Communities Fund. They can only be used by the local coordinating council. So the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute kind of dictates it's 25% in each category. So category prevention, one in intervention, one in justice, and then the other 25% is administrative. So ours is pretty straightforward. It's based off of numbers the last couple of years, and then kind of broken into that 25%. So we have a comprehensive community plan that we have to develop, send that up to the state for approval. We go back to the commissioners, get approval for that, and then we award our mini grants out of that fund. So ours isn't the same as general county funds. It's a little bit different. I don't know if y'all have any questions on it. Ours is probably the easiest. I can't see that. What is that third line?
The one is administrative
Oh, okay.
expense was just,
Because the coordinator and then the rest of the administrative is out separately.
which the administrative expense one is $1,670. Still 100% available to use.
No, so
Which I think was a
the
mess last year and we had to change some.
yeah, because the issue is we make an estimate just like anybody else, but we can only actually use what comes in from January to December. So the estimate from last year was higher, but that money isn't actually there.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm like, ours is weird
Yeah.
because it's like, it'll show that we have a balance remaining, but we don't actually.
I mean, basically we do, like it's 19,410 there, but then there's another line. So we're just gonna go down to two lines, 20,000 on one and 5,000 on the coordinator.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Yep.
I
And then
mean,
if for some reason we were to have extra funds come in, we would have to come in and ask for that to be adjusted. That was what happened last year, was we had a little bit over.
Gotcha. No worries. I'm good with it if everybody else is. I appreciate what you do.
All right, well, thank you all.
No problem.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Good luck today.
Yeah, thanks. Alright. You might need a bathroom break or anything. We got a little break between them.
Let's do the council,
Cameras.
county council, let's do our budget.
We all get new Cadillac Escalade.
No, that was Johnny White.
Oh. You gotta miss him to some degree.
Council, is that where we're going?
Yeah.
County council?
I got a perfect vehicle, it just blew up on the interstate. I saw that. Did you watch that? Yeah. I think I got him, he turned like red and got all nervous standing up there. Oh, yeah.
Professional services, is that Baker Tilly?
So I think that's what's been paid out of it, but,
Yes.
the
And then you
basic,
also have, I think, a Dr. Hicks.
what he do?
It's something with EMS.
He's like our medical director, isn't
Yeah,
We pay that?
I think so. I think,
Nick has a medical director.
I think that was pulled over in the last budget. I can ask Mandy on that, but that's what I'm thinking.
Well, the big $1 million ticket on Baker Tilly, here's all the bills, if anybody wants to see them to answer the questions. But the physical time spent with us doing the 2026 budget was a total of $6,334.45. I'll pass these down and I'll send them your own way. The time spent on the budget that was not with the council, we got a bill for support services where, what's the Form 3? That's the end of it. I get
Mhm.
confused on these. So where they spent with the final review, pretty much overseeing the budget before it's sent and entered into Gateway, that's $2,385, not in person. That's done remotely. And then there's another bill that is, you might have to help me with this, Jennifer, the inputting Form 4B, that's the property tax stuff, right?
That's still on the budget. That's the budget. There's a Form 1, a Form 3, and a Form B that they review, and like you said, that's all off-site.
Okay.
And I forget what you call it, it was a C, I don't know if it's comprehensive financial plan, what they did, it was a $15,000
Yeah,
budget.
it's in here too. It's,
So,
it looks to be more based, that one, I'm sorry, is $6,867.50 before the budget submitted. The long-term financial plan one, I think, is what you're talking about,
Yes.
Jennifer. That is for, it says, I mean, there's a lot of time here, a total of 46 hours in it. And you guys can review this as well, but it looks a lot to be based around the sheriff's budget and that judgment bond timeframe. And that is $15,554, which is directly related to judgment bond. The other one that is related to the judgment bond is billing for that long-term financial plan. And it's where, looks like they met with some attorneys about that litigation whenever we were getting the initial mandate going and how to work through it, options for in the budget and through DLGF and Gateway to balance that. I'm guessing this is off-site because I don't remember calling them to have them do it, but 27 hours worth is $6,930. So just to clarify the absolute, that's what Baker Tilly spent or been billed in the last 12 months through us. The only one that is physically in person is the one that I think it's $6,334.
well, and then on the $15,000 one, the day that Paige was here, I think there's $2,200 out of that 15,000 was.
Now, that's on a different bill. It's
Right, it's a different bill, but it was part of that.
it's 2,800 and it's in the one that's 6,334, I think is that one. But, so I guess the professional services line is where we're gonna pay for that.
Mhm.
So I don't know that it needs to go to $37,000. It's on this budget.
If you got Dr. Hicks, you gotta see what we have to pay him too, but that's, I don't know. That's the next budget, or that's in this budget?
Here's the other ones.
I thought the Hicks thing was just weird, really weird.
I don't know why we.
Because why would we pay for EMS medical director? I mean, if anything, commissioners.
Yeah, that should not be paid from us.
Like, it makes no sense why council would be paying
Work
for
not with council, so we just.
a medical
Work
director
with
for
assignment
EMS.
to.
What's that?
Budget work not with council, what's
That
that
means
mean?
that not a person, I mean, they're doing it on their side.
We told them to.
No, I mean, instead of being here, they did it at their office.
Right, but work for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as the
It's not,
budget,
not in person.
as far as the budget on those, we spent, I mean, if you want to consider the two, the one is 6,000 and the one they do offsite before the budget's submitted is the other one that's like 2,000 something. So that's $8,000. The rest of that should have come out of the bond money to be paid, I guess, because it's directly related to the bond.
They didn't bill it that way though.
That's their bills.
I know, but their billing, they sent 70,000. There was a $70,000 bill for the bond. These were not sent as part of the bond.
Because I see where in April, $15,000 was paid to Baker Tilly, but that's way more than what the council budgeting, which is what's been led to believe, I think, in the,
Can we ask them to take it out of the bond? I mean, would that,
I mean, you can make a transfer
we can
or
do
a
that.
claim
If
adjustment.
you guys agree, I mean, that, I just reviewed those myself, but everything related to that $15,000 bill says bond on it. The ones that are related to budgeting are right there, and it says exactly what they did.
so I'm assuming these are to be paid out of the general fund?
They all are. I
Okay.
mean, yes, they all, or have been. I think all of those bills have been paid.
It'd make more sense to me to take it out of the bond.
That's what I think. If that's what it was for.
Yeah.
And that's a one-time expense. It's not an annual thing. It's
Where your budget hold.
spent. Yeah.
Was all that totaled up to, did you?
I did not total them. I can if you want me to. But other than that, I don't see in our spending where we've spent anything for Dr. Hicks. And I can let's call Nick real quick, bug him.
These bills don't, have anything to do like any work they do for TIF or,
No,
that's a whole,
Yeah, that's
there's
all.
quite more bills, but they're paying for that.
That's why
right?
I asked for the itemized to see exactly
Yeah.
what it is, and then I
Yeah.
went through and stapled them together.
Who else they work for in the county besides us and TIF?
They do. Hey, Nick, you got a second?
You know?
Need you to cut your budget 35%.
I think they did, it is too.
Well,
Just joking.
yeah.
Question,
Maybe awesome too.
we're sitting in this meeting and talking about professional services line in the council budget. And the auditor said, we're paying, Dr. Hicks for the EMS or the EMS medical director out of ours. You know,
We're paying it on ours.
that's what I thought. Okay. All right. I was just
You
making,
used 2 years ago you did, we took it over, I think, 2 years ago.
yeah, okay. I was saying,
It's.
because I remember you did, and then I think you even paid it for the 911 center a year or two ago. So you've been paying that as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That should be under what number is that?
It's in your 1151. I know that towards the top.
I think it's like 3,200 or something on ours that we're appropriated for it, pay it on ours.
Okay. That's what I thought. Just wanted to confirm. Thanks, man.
Okay, yeah.
Bye. Hey, can we help you? Nope. All right. Somebody with a little kid.
Go to back to you.
The only thing our professional services pays, I guess, is Baker Tilly. And if you remove the ones for the judgment bond, which I think need to be paid out of that bond money, that leaves you with,
They wouldn't care where it came from, would they? They just,
yeah,
I think that needs to be paid out of that. That's what it was for.
Yeah.
So that
yeah.
was shown.
so that leaves us with the one where they came and spent time with the council in person. That's $6,334.45. And let me tell that it's not just for that. It's a total of 14 and a half hours, prepared the 2026 budget estimated summary of fund balances and revenues, which is that form we get, tells us what money we come in. And, excuse me, they prepared the allocation of the max levies and review the DLGF for the max levy from property tax for us. That's a couple hours of work. Review revenue estimates for 2026. Then they travel here. That's 3.5 hours of travel time, which is $980. And that's why we opted to do it virtually. And then the time that they spent with the council and the auditor was 5 total hours, and that was $2,800. So, and then it says the client's reimbursed for travel expense of $139.45, which leaves $6,334.45. So that one is budget related. The next one is a total of 9 hours of work, and it is reviewing all the final forms that we talked about, Form 3, Form 4, making sure everything's good before it's submitted to Gateway and to the DLGF. That amount is $2,385. So a total spent on budgets in the 25 year for the 26 budget from the council was $8,719.45.
So let's put 10,000 in for professional services, and that way we got a little cushion.
I agree with that.
How long has Baker Tilly been with the county?
27 years.
Thank you.
So everybody good with 10,000?
Professional services.
Yep.
You good with it, John?
And then,
And that'd be for the 26 going into the 27 budget, correct?
yes, sir. And I don't think we'll spend anywhere near that because number one, we're doing it virtually. Number two, I don't.
As long as we got the paperwork to show what we're gonna have, because we gotta see what we're gonna come in and then weigh everybody's budgets. We need to sort of get some numbers
Yeah,
together.
I agree.
So we'll have, because
The attorney line stays the same at 24,000. The travel expense, we've spent $755 out of 2,000. You want to leave it at 2,000 or
Yeah, leave it at
leave
2,000.
it there?
You don't know, next time we may get the elected people in, they may have to use a travel expense.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, on that travel I've done here lately, I've just been paying for it out of my pocket.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the only
It's
thing,
easy
the
to do
travel
that.
I've done, the only thing I think the county's paid for the hotel room, but I've never turned in per diem or mileage or any of that. I mean, I just drive and do it.
Exactly.
Supplies stays at 100. I think that's some paper we use and things like that.
That usually pays just pretty much for these guys.
These things.
Yeah.
Do we need to up it some or?
I think we're pretty good on that.
What's our dues and restrictions?
Which I will say, these binders, irregardless of who
Oh, yeah.
is putting them together, they're worth their weight in gold. If it costs $100, it's money
Yeah.
well spent, because the year that we had just the papers was pretty rough to keep up with.
The last 2 years, these binders has been.
Well, I've had people call me through the year and been able to go get my
Oh,
binder,
yeah.
pull it out and say, here was your budget, here's what we did and everything else. And they,
Well, and us going
Really
through
appreciate
and making
that.
notes and writing on it, it's hard to say that ain't what I did whenever it's my writing right there on the paper.
exactly.
Dues and subscriptions are 700. It stays the same. I think that pays our, that Indian Association of
Yes.
Counties
Yeah.
for everyone on the council. So just leave it the same. I don't know that it's increasing.
I haven't gotten any notification if it's going to.
I have,
Is the payroll got the 10% marked up on it, Jennifer?
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Because it's 82,986 is what that line is for this
As far as
year.
I'm concerned, you take it back to that real quick.
Yeah.
Since they're doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. Elected officials will probably be the last one I looked at for.
Right, absolutely.
Other than that, everybody good with everything else?
Yep, I'm good.
Let's go cemetery board.
John, I didn't hear what you said.
Cemetery board.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just checked that incoming application.
Oh, okay. It doesn't.
You're not surprised?
No. I hate it. I don't know what we're gonna do. Farm it out, maybe that costs a fortune.
Oh, gosh.
Why not, it's back here somewhere.
Yep. There we go.
Find it.
Not much on it.
Might have to call Andrew. I don't remember. Yesterday we did a bunch of stuff up here. Yeah, I did. Get to
The
the
cemetery board,
meetings.
No, I don't.
what all do they mow?
It was like, I don't know exact number, but it's 30-something cemeteries they mow out of the county. They mow one, I know, at least in Scottsburg.
They don't mow the one here in town, do they? The big one?
No, they pay, Jeremy, I don't know if Jeremy does it or not, but they pay like, that's like $40,000 to $50,000.
I don't say, I don't think Jeremy does that one anymore. I don't think he does, I don't think Jeremy does the cities anymore.
No, I don't know who's doing it, but I know it's
Several dollars.
It's 40-something thousand. And, you know, that's what you pay for those kind of things anymore.
Yeah.
And we're getting by with, most of the cemeteries in the county are probably not much bigger than we.
Yeah.
But the ones that are big take
But you got a trailer, you got a truck, you got gravel.
county,
Counties.
lots of gas, all that stuff, yeah.
So that 28,378 basically for labor for
It's not enough to get a second person, that's the problem.
just one person. Yeah.
And we're paying, I think, $12.30 or something.
Give me a second. 12,
For an hour,
20 something maybe?
And we just, to me, more than I agree with this, let's get any hope of getting a second person hire, we need to get it at 15.
Oh, yeah, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that, because you can't, unless you got two guys just retired and just want to make some extra money, you know.
And we,
1223.
well, we're getting people have to turn application and get it elected, or get hired, and then say, oh. So there's always people that probably are applying so they can tell unemployment.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
No, I want, but then when they welfare to them, like, I don't want to.
We got the lawnmowers and the county does the gas and trailer.
Yeah, they, yes. I mean, it's,
You know, and I don't know.
How many hours a week do they?
And they
I
get
know, I'm just saying, I
they
know
get
you're on
on-
the board, so I'm just.
yeah, they get unemployment also.
Do they?
I don't know both of them or not, but Richard does.
And I'm not sure because they're both listed, I'm sure as part-time people.
And, but like, we got guys that are working, but they can't work all summer. I mean, like, yeah, we'll do it, can I work the hours I want to work? 2 reasons we want a second person.
Are they mowed every week or every 2 weeks?
They mow every week. Some cemeteries, they don't get mowed every week. Pigeon Ridge is one of them. But they like mow 1 week, we need to make, and then they go to some other ones. But we don't have the second person weeding. That's,
How many hours a year do you think they do?
well, they got 30 hours a week. How many hours they work a week? I mean, it's under,
Shoot, I could,
it's not, it's part-time, so it's
28 hours,
or 32.
28 hours a week,
Yeah.
so they mow what, from April till October?
Yeah, and see, that's what we're getting. We had one guy, holy well, he had a
That works.
license to be a principal of schools. But he just wanted to work
Thanks, Andrew.
the hours he wanted to work.
See you, bud.
Morning.
Good morning.
It's a safety issue also.
Marty?
Can you hear us?
It's also not getting somebody.
Can you hear us?
Some of them cemeteries.
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay.
John Top.
Yeah, she said she could hear.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, we're good.
I don't think the
I
camera's
had
showing.
I had the YouTube on.
I
I
don't-
can hear you guys much better talking on the YouTube than I can
Uh,
on Google Meet for some reason, or Teams or whatever it is.
I don't think the camera's working down there.
Yeah, it is. It's working
Yeah,
fine.
I think that one is. It just, lights are toggled off.
Was in John talks, it don't show up on his, Jennifer's screen.
Huh.
When you
Good.
do this motion, you're supposed to be.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We're good.
Hey, so a question came up,
Just saying.
Heather,
Just
to
saying.
see if you can research for us, if you can hear me. The area plan, is there a way to start a perpetuation fund for them to where the fees that they collect for permits and such would stay like in a perpetuation fund that they could then use for part-time or equipment or whatever they need in their office
Actually in their budget.
or within their budget use?
Well, so perpetuation funds are created by statute, so that's where I'll start to see if there's a specific statute. If there's not, the commissioners can always create a fund, a home rule fund that basically says we're creating the area plan commission fund. Permit fee, what will go in will be the permit fees that they take in, and it can be used for A, B, and C. But let me look first and see if there's a statute that allows for a area plan commission perpetuation fund.
And I just said perpetuation. I don't think we care what it's called.
Okay.
Just mostly like the ability for, when she came in, she gave a presentation of, how much fees they've collected and things like that. And it's substantial. It's a decent amount of money for the year. And so if there was a way to capture that money to stay within her office rather than just go into general fund and us use it, I think that would be.
Is that where it's
better.
going now, into the general fund?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I can get on that.
But I think that's the only question that has came up so far. We all talked about meeting with Paige and doing it virtually tomorrow. So I think she's going to join that Zoom.
Okay.
And during that time, I'll probably just pull that thing over so maybe we can get closer. But I sent her an email
I
that
should
said,
be there in the morning. I just have something after lunch.
okay,
But I plan to be there in person in the morning. I just think it's so much better
okay.
to get a handle on what's going on. I haven't taken notes, and I did listen to when you guys were finishing your budget and talking about Baker Tilly. I came in right as John asked you how long we've had Baker Tilly.
Yeah.
So, and I've been keeping notes of things that have caught my
So
attention.
on that, I have the actual invoices from Baker Tilly, and I think the discrepancy is once you read the itemized invoice, there's two of them that are directly related to the judgment bond that I think probably should be paid out of that fund or that money. And then the other two are directly related to the council, which is one for, $6,334.45 and another one for $2,385. But the rest are pretty much.
Well, the bond fund, since that we already did the resolution to reimburse, because, the bond really wasn't about the general fund, it's about those lists. I think, we were told that one that would have 70,000 left in it, and one would have 200,000. So, but when we did the resolution, we wanted to reimburse the general fund as much as we could, since that pays for everybody else's but the sheriff's. I think there's only a small part in general and the sheriff. So those funds have already been reimbursed. So whatever we paid to Baker Tilly would have been out of the general fund. So that 1.4, I think it was, that we reimbursed the general fund, would have captured that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, and I believe all these bills have been paid. I'm not saying they haven't been paid for them. They're paid. It's just in budgeting for coming years, we were talking about, and the council budget for professional services, the estimated amount in the paper was like $37,000, and that's, pretty astronomical for what we spend on budget services.
Well, wasn't part of that, didn't they do a big comprehensive plan for us too in 24 maybe?
Yeah, that was when Eric Gillespie.
Because that would have been a big undertaking.
Yeah, on the council, and they did a long-term financial plan for that as well. Then the one that they had to do, I guess, in part of the bond agreement is similar to that. That's another, the $15,000 charge is for that related to the bond, which has 40 something hours of time in it.
Yeah, I think the last thing I heard was you guys thought 10,000 would be enough based on whatever you presented.
Yeah.
From budget from 24, 25, it would be enough. But we also have to think about the must. We signed an agreement for the must. I do think that that's important. We need to make sure we're budgeting for that, but we could also ask the municipalities to kick in because it's really going to be, in participating in other counties, it's really going to be necessary, for at least for the municipalities more than anything, to figure out if they want to opt into the county rate or they want to go out and do their own, tax rate. So maybe those municipalities there, I don't know if you've had a conversation with Scottsburg and Austin to see if they, could help pay the Baker Tilly bill, or if they want to opt in. I know Lee County Council just paid for it, and they're, the towns that they wanted to contribute could. But we also need to make sure we have budget for the must meetings too, because that's going to be really important. So we probably have to do it. Not for 20, because this will be done in this budget year, not next year.
Right.
We need to make sure we get an additional appropriation advertised if we need to pay them for the must.
And so I did talk to the two cities, and yeah, they've agreed to split the cost. And we have an informal meeting with Baker Tilly to get an idea of what that cost is going to look like, how to set up the must organization, what needs to be done. And that's in the coming, I think, end of next week, I believe.
Okay.
And I'll know more then. But yeah, we've all agreed to split the cost of that.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Well, sounds like we're doing pretty well then.
So far, but
So
we're going to talk cemetery board.
With
Next,
that
I
comment, back up just a second. Do
Yeah.
we need to raise ours? Maybe raise that amount to 15,000 then, just to,
It really won't be for next year though, because that must thing has to be this
Okay,
year, because
okay.
we send it up for the legislator to look at for 27. So I think, like she said, we'll probably have to do a additional.
Unless we got money.
I could see
Well, if
some
you do
of
a
them,
claim
we could do a
adjustment,
holdover, but
they'll
I
put money
could
back
see
in
some
your
of those.
budget.
I want to make sure, one, we have enough appropriation for 26 to pay for the must, but I could see some of those bills. Since we're starting a little later, I could see some of them coming due in 27 too. Because the report has to be to the legislature by December 1st, which means November, Baker Tilly would be packaging it and there'd still be meetings going on. So I could imagine there could be some coming in 27.
All right. I mean, and if so, I guess we can always pay them and then do an additional if we need to. But I won't know until probably next week an estimated idea of what that'll cost. Or like right now, I have no idea how many meetings you have to have or what is expected of that board. So that's kind of the purpose of the informal meeting, to get virtually with Baker Tilly and find out exactly what's needed. And then I can report back to everybody as to what we do. I'm kind of unsure at this point on what's needed from us. But if we need to, we can change as we go. And I'll try to get you guys an estimated idea of what it would cost to do those meetings and handle it. But
well, we're still in budget. So if we do find something out, we can always increase before
Right.
our budget.
and like Jennifer said, if we need to do like a claim adjustment type thing to pay these out of a different fund, that would put money back in our current budget to pay some of that. Even though it's a general fund, it would straighten up the line some.
Oh, that would go.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Clear as mud.
Sorry to interrupt. but-
No, not at all. You ain't interrupting me, you know?
The cemetery board, you're ready for that?
Yeah.
Does John Lisenby need to speak for that?
I can.
You go right ahead, sir.
I don't, I have Jennifer Hilper, that 29,378, I think that's to pay two people, is that correct?
I believe there's only two on the salary ordinance. Let me double check.
We're having an extra hard time getting a second person hired. If you go back to the next page, it's saying.
Actually, I'm sorry, on that cemetery, on your salary ordinance, you've got one supervisor that was paid 1120, which I think was what we went, that's out of the cemetery fund though, not, that's the 2,300, not the 1,000. And then there are 3 cemetery mowers. We just put those in class. They're all
Three
part-time.
people.
3 people.
Yeah, but that doesn't change
There's
the
3
amount of money.
positions.
There's 3
Yeah, 3
positions.
positions.
In other words, the goal was to have a part-timer
If,
to fill in if somebody was sick, not
I guess my
as
question
an
is-
extra person.
Why do we have multiple different funds still for this? I thought we were gonna combine them all into like one.
No, because there's not enough money in the cemetery fund to pay
To do
for the
it.
mowers.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it. How does the cemetery fund get money?
There is a small percentage that comes from the property tax.
Property tax. Gotcha. All right, that makes more sense.
Nothing's really changed on the 2,300.
And I don't even think we're even requesting anything except that second person, we're just having an immense amount of trouble getting somewhere higher. We're in process right now of our second hiring process and haven't even got a person to put in an application. The last we did, we had 4 people. We considered 2, offered them both the job. They both turned it down after they put in for it. And we're paying 12, 20 or 30 an hour.
1223.
And my opinion, and I think the board, although we didn't take a vote on it, the general discussion was we need to get it up about $15 an hour. So it might entice somebody who want to do a little part-time work. And, it's a lot of people want to work when they want to work, but this is like mid-April to mid-October. So some people cannot, it's not like a summer job to everybody. So,
Jennifer, if there are basically 16 pay periods for the cemetery and you got 2 people or 3 people, if you just take 2 people and take it up to $15 an hour, that's 30,000. If you look at it like that, they work 30 hours a week. So that's not far from that 29,378 that's there.
Yeah.
Then that would maybe help people to be able to, hire somebody at 15 and maintain somebody at 15 to do that. It's either 16 or 14 pay periods. Depends when they mow and when they don't mow.
Yeah.
So it's going to vary.
The only,
But that's just, that might help maybe entice somebody to do the job, but 'cause you're not that far off from what they're, the 29,000 now, so.
and I agree, the only thing I would say is the
You'd have to-
cemetery
you'd have to-
supervisor, we're gonna need to change him too, because at some point, the $1,120 he's paid isn't gonna equate the same as what the $15 an hour people are making.
I agree.
And so it'd be hard for me to supervise people making more money than me.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I understand.
And, I agree with that.
I mean, I don't know it needs to change a lot, but you're gonna have to come up incrementally somewhat.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, how do you call someone a supervisor? if they're
And
making-
Jennifer can probably answer better.
You
than I
need
do,
to be
but I
at
don't
least
remember.
18.
Well, they had a
I mean, yeah.
20 or 30 cent raise last year. What did we give them last year?
They went from 1187 to 1223.
50 cent?
So
50 cents?
50
cents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just some quick math I was thinking to, John said it just having, you'd have to take it from 3 down to just 2 and just have 2 guys and that'd be what you got. I mean,
Well, I think now you really, now you've only got 1, but I think traditionally
only
there's been 2
36.
people who actually work. But just in the last time we did the salary ordinance, we added the 3rd position. That way, if you had 2 people that wanted to weed eat, and one could do one day and one could do another, they
yeah,
could switch out.
I'm just throwing out there,
So, go ahead. I mean, either way, I think what's your other option is
pay the supervisor 16 and pay the other, their upper 14.
Put it out for bid, which isn't gonna be
Oh, you never
good
get
for
that.
anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna be able to afford that, so.
Pigeon Ridge alone would take that much.
But it's definitely important to keep them mowed.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
And it looks so much better.
I gotta give Richard credit. He's really stayed on top of it to the best of his ability. But weed eating sometimes just doesn't get done.
Yeah.
And, but as much as all that, it's safety to me. Some of these little cemeteries are really out in the back of the woods somewhere. And if you get out there and get hurt, unless your family called in, nobody'd know you's out there probably.
Need a second person with them.
Yeah,
It's like going in the woods with a chainsaw. Same
Yeah.
thing. You
it
get
could
hurt.
happen.
What's the inspection services? What does it cover?
That was traditionally, and that's over in the 2,300 fund. I think that's what- That was the one, and traditionally, or at least since I've been in office, it was John Robbins to begin with. He was an elderly fella, and he went around and he would inspect. And I think that was the 1,200 that was originally budgeted, and then he kind of turned in a little claim for that. I don't know that he always even turned that in. And then he was paid a little bit of mileage to go around. And basically what he did is go around and just make sure everything got taken care of. I think that's what they said he was doing. I think he was actually driving these people and kind of staying with them
Yeah.
to make sure if there was the second person to be safe.
So he was kind
And
of
he
functioning
reported,
as the
Richard reported.
Supervisor,
Yeah,
yeah.
he would be the one that turned in the claims at the office and that kind of thing like that.
I think he got like $1,300 a
It
year
was
or
12
something.
something. Yeah, it was a little over 12.
And I don't know, that's usually whoever the president of the board is. I don't know if Jeremy's taking anything or not, but it's,
We haven't offered him. I mean, he's just become, because you were president
yeah.
last year, and as a
And I didn't. get the
councilman, you
money.
can't. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that's there. It's not been used. That's $521. You could maybe
It brings you up to 30,000 right there.
put it into, if you put that, I mean, the way you described it to me, that is the guy functioning as a supervisor, making sure things are done, keeping up with. So if you put that $521 on top of the 11 we're paying him, that would take him to 1,600 right there.
Well, the money it's set up to go to the president of the board right now. That's the way it's supposed to be going. Now, if he doesn't want it, I mean, I think we'd almost have to have a board meeting first before we did that. I don't think we'd have to, but that's the way it's been traditionally done, and I wouldn't want to pull the rug out from under him without at least consulting.
And I'm not saying that in any
Yeah,
And I
way
will
either.
say on the commissioner side, they're trying to reorganize that board.
Mhm.
And Alex asked me to research, and what I found, I don't think that there was ever a county cemetery board ever really organized, just kind of informally happened. I think it was part of the city, and it just sort of rolled over and became sort of county, took over more and became county.
we
So I
don't
think
even know
this-
when that happened, do we?
I don't think so. I can't find anything on that. So they're trying to do that because one of the things they're asking to do is increase their perpetual care fees so that will help. There's a little bit, it's very little bit, but money that comes into the
the
county.
2,300 fund. Is that what you're?
I believe it actually is put into the general. I'll double check that.
'Cause in that 2,300, there's also travel and mileage. I don't know what that would be for.
Well, and that before was when Mr. Robbins was
Oh,
that,
right.
they paid him a little bit of mileage.
So if you, again, that one's 100% not been used, and we're in August,
Mhm.
so pretty much mowing's gonna start slowing down. That's $1,000 right there in those two lines. And I know you're not talking much money, but when you're only paying somebody 1,100, you got $1,000 sitting there in that fund. I don't really see why it would be a problem to increase your spending on personnel when you have money sitting available. Now, granted, you got to talk to your board and your president and make sure that, he's not expecting to be paid for being that. But I think the option's there right now to increase these with the funds that have already been allocated, even in the 26 year for the remainder. Going into 27, I'm perfectly fine with changing the rates or whatever you need to do to get you there. And I don't think we're talking an astronomical amount of money. I mean, we're talking a few $100s here.
Well, I think
From
we need
where
to
you're
get
at.
$15 an hour is what I think.
Yeah.
And hopefully that would work. I'm not even,
And if you would take some of this stuff and give it to the supervisor, that would eliminate his pay problem. Then all you got to do is what Miller said. That takes you within another 1,000, you're there.
And like I say, if 15 is a lot better than 12, I think you
Yeah,
have
I
a chance,
think so.
better chance to. And you get two guys doing that, will stay within that, close to that $29,000 budget, between 14 to 16 pay periods, And you got rain days, they're not gonna work, so I mean,
Well, he even suggested that at one time. Richard himself mentioned that. He said, some days when it's raining, we can't mow. And he said, and that makes us look bad because we're liable to be sitting around under a tree and blowing a sandwich. And the public sees that and it looks bad. And he kind of thought maybe it'd be better to do
Like a salary.
a salary type deal.
How much?
Well, same amount.
1,100, 20, or
No, I'm just saying that he would eliminate public seeing when they're not working.
right?
I don't think they'd want to work for less
On
for that reason. It was just something he mentioned to me last
So-
year, actually.
Would you? Let me just follow. The one guy who is doing it is paid annually at $1,120.
The president of the board.
president of the board.
That is.
Yeah.
So the guy.
He's not working.
The-
He's
the-
just kind of the manager.
The mowing's 29,000, that's split between two
Yeah.
guys. We're down to one part-time guy. I said, you take away the part-time guy.
What's 1223 for two guys? That's a whole lot of hours
It's,
to get there.
it's part-time. It's under the limits of
So
28
28
hours
hours
a week. I'm not sure.
28 to 30
I'm
hours.
not on the screen. I'm gonna go to payroll and let's see what we're paying this guy. And then let's figure out, maybe it is better we just do a salary. I'm not opposed to a salary.
Mhm.
It's still cheaper than hiring a
Oh,
mowing company.
You're gonna get a mowing company to do that for $29,000. They do their.
But I'm just not
I agree.
willing
And he
to.
does a good job.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if I'm muddying the water, but like I said, when Mr. Robbins was here, he kind of did it a little bit community service, but the two guys, or the Jeremy Meadows is absolutely doing the same thing. He's doing a lot of work. John Abbott does.
Mhm.
They do a lot of work out there
Yeah.
that's not compensated.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, Abbott will take the whole Pigeon Roost off talking about the side of the railroad tracks all the way down the highway. It's that tall right now. He'll come in sometime in the next 3 weeks with a skid steer and clear all that out.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Right. And there's a bunch of people that help out with these cemeteries, but
They are.
and their help is invaluable to us for not charging us and everything
Yeah,
else.
but what John was saying, they just one guy doing it all now, and then to task people to have a
Sure.
second person, to do away with the part-time, have two full-time or two part-time that does it year
Well,
round.
The second one's important,
Yeah.
not for a lot of reasons. Safety, I mentioned. But if we get one guy doing this and if he gets sick, there's nobody out there. So the second guy can pick it up and hopefully, it'd be hard to even get this one done. Have a third person who can fill in. No more money, just take those days when the guy's off. So Richard has done an amazing job because he doesn't complain, he's just out there doing it.
We're gonna get Monty Craig.
Yeah,
He's helping with
Monty's
the
out there,
city.
yeah, in the city, yeah. But this one's,
So who do we pay to mow right now?
Richard Newman.
Newman. All right. Let's see here.
And I haven't even, I couldn't even answer this question. I suppose they're under some kind of workman's comp, I don't know.
they'll be covered through the county. Yeah.
To workman's
Yeah.
comp.
That's why it was so important when we thought your second candidate to make sure that he came to my office and got
So,
Yeah,
signed in before he went to work.
right here, stupid. So far this year, we have paid that person $5,843.95.
Man, what, $12 or something?
Yes, at 12/23.
How many hours has he's worked?
So that is starting in May and up to where we're at right now. And his checks.
he turned his own hours in too, doesn't he? Yeah, used to Johnny would go out and do all that for him, Robbins. He would report to Johnny and Johnny would turn it in.
And I was gonna say, I can't remember on payroll. I know
Well, I
John
don't know
always
if
did
he-
the,
I don't know
other.
if he turned
I'm
it-
not so sure his payroll doesn't come in with the highway department.
It says cemetery maintenance is what it says.
He used to go straight,
On
Johnny
the
would, I was no, he used to.
payroll.
And it says like the amount, and then under description, that's the hours worked, right? So it's turning in 80 for cemetery mower per check at 12.23.
So he's working 40
So
hours.
he's really not part-time, he's seasonal then.
It must be seasonal because he's working 40 hours a week, so it can't be listed
So
as
then
part-time.
we'll need to amend the salary ordinance again.
I don't think he worked 40 hours a week on it, turn in.
Trina's not there, we'll have to check on that. Let's see.
You up?
And it says under employment type, it says temporary, so that'd be seasonal.
Yeah, temporary or seasonal.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't need any more part-time people working overtime hours. We get enough of
I
that.
agree with that.
But that's what we pay. So with that, would it be easier to split, if he's 5,800, how much more mowing you got? Another month?
Middle of October.
So 2 months? Probably.
Either the first or the middle, I think it's middle of October.
So he probably makes,
You got about 10 weeks.
And they always do a lot of special work in the middle of September just because that's
The growth slows down so they can do a little bit more.
pigeon roost, yeah. And you got, he doesn't do all, he just mows the cemetery and you got the county highway will go in and mow around the monument and all that. But all together, they work on it pretty hard.
down at Pigeon.
Yes.
Well, I'll go to Gateway and that should tell me what we paid him in total last year. If we look this person up. So I'm just trying to come up, I don't even know what to put on the line. 'Cause
Well, if Jennifer, if there's a salary ordinance, is there things in there for summer help or for,
We'll put it on there. All we have to do is just change that. They've
I
been
didn't
listed
know.
as part-time and they should be listed as seasonal.
well, that's why I'm saying I didn't know if the seasonal had a dollar amount to them.
So in 2025.
That's what you make it, yeah.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
In 2025, we paid Mr. Newman $12,344.80. So that's the year. So if you did
So for the two of them, it'd be about 24,000.
24,
So I suppose that total amount of money might be the two of them together. I don't know.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
the two of them together.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't
the
remember.
521 and all that, it might be
But if you did two of them together at, I don't want to lower the man any.
15, what we're looking at.
So you did
Give me that number again.
last year's
Yeah.
$12,344.80.
That's 1,040 hours. So that'd be 15,600 if the hours stayed the same and you
Stayed the same.
changed it to $15 an hour.
So say you made them salary, you made them $15,000. And then you're not far off of where you were, then you need some part-time to fill in.
No more money, just a person who's willing to fill in that. The person who would be sick one day, wouldn't get paid.
You can't do that.
This
if you
guy
make
would
them
just fill
salary,
in.
Right.
Salary, you could have.
Yeah,
do
the
that.
salary,
Make them
no
salary.
problem, yeah,
If you're salary, you're paid.
Yeah.
I guess, no matter what.
yeah. And the third person was basically, if they're not salary,
Sure.
they took off, this guy can just fill in. But we're lucky to get one more guy, so getting that second one's not my main concern right now.
So which way do you want to go with it, you think, John? You want to go a salaried rate?
I
Or
don't
you
think
wanna
so,
go
not if we're gonna have two people.
An
And
hourly? You just wanna go-
I'm not gonna lose a lot of sleep either way, but it would eliminate that third person. I think you're right about that.
I think it would be tough. You would have to have money for like a part-time and then find a pool of people that's willing to just fill in when, you know, hey, John's sick, I need you to come in and work.
It
That would be difficult.
Well, the last hiring, we had two people. We thought, well, hire one, see if we get the second one, that third position. Neither one of them wanted once we ordered them.
Jennifer, you said, how many hours was that? You did the math
Oh,
on
10,
Should be about 20.
1,000 something.
I think it was 1,080.
I think 1,040.
1,040. Yeah, it was 1040.
1040. So if you're at 15 an hour and the hours stay the same at 1040, that's $15,600
Yeah, that's what I came up
for
with.
two people.
31,000.
Yeah, so you need 31.2 in that line to make it whole. Is that the route you want to go?
Yes,
I think that would entice, and then they knew what they was gonna get paid. They worked over that, then, they're not what they're gonna get paid at the end of the
I
year.
don't think it's gonna break the bank.
I don't think it's gonna break, that's just, just kill them.
I mean, from where you're at, that's
Yeah.
$1,000. Not even 1,000, it's $900. What you're advertised at to go to 31.2 year.
That's what I think would be, that'd get them both 15 an hour, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would
Two
do.
people at
Yeah.
$15 an hour.
Yeah.
For the season at $15,600.
Yeah, I think that would be, you'll find out, but it should entice somebody a little bit more.
All right, we've aired this poor guy's.
Just a
money out.
question, do you want me to go ahead, I'll go ahead and change the salary ordinance. Do you want me to go ahead and for 2026, make the remainder of the year $15 an hour?
Give me 2 seconds. Let's see what's in that before I answer.
Right.
Let's look what's left in that account, just so, like John said, we only got 2 months left. I mean, I would like to. I think that would
I'm
be
thinking,
a good move,
About 2
but
and a half months.
10 weeks.
Yes.
That's not pay periods. 6. About this one.
as of the middle of June, there was still 19,663 in there. We've had one more pay period after that, so
You gotta
Okay.
remember, we're only paying one person.
yeah, we still should be fine.
we've got plenty.
Should be plenty of money. Yeah, right now you got 18,685 in there, so. I'd say since we gotta change the salary ordinance anyway, to move him from listed as part-time to seasonal, while my vote at that time would be go ahead and change his rate to 15 an hour. If you're good with advertising that, we could do it.
Yeah.
You
For
good
both
with-
of them.
You good with that, John?
At least 15, but if he's gonna have to be a supervisor,
Well, they're saying the
Well, neither-
supervisor's the,
is the board
Supervisor,
president.
acting president.
Okay,
Supervisor.
so they'll be equal employees more or less if there's two people. Okay.
the people who are physically mowing.
Then
I
if the
think,
president, of the board doesn't take the money, that money just runs over.
Okay, yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And there's like $12,000 in that account right now, that 2,300 fund, is about 12,000. So, all right, yeah, if you'll make a note to advertise, we'll just, we gotta change the salary ordinance. Let's do an amendment to the salary ordinance, but not the whole thing. I think we can just, Heather, can't we just include a page on it to change that? Legal question.
Deer in the headlight.
Right. You're muted, I think. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to listen on YouTube because I can hear you guys much better on YouTube, but I can't have that on and this on. So
You're
that's
good.
sort of what I'm doing. When you amend the salary ordinance, the way, and I think I brought this up to Kenley at the last meeting, we should really just have a page that's an ordinance that says the salary ordinance is hereby amended to make the following amendment. Because when we're getting the two large salary ordinances and our eyes are crossing trying to figure out what the change is, so I think it's much cleaner just to have the original salary ordinance and then attach the ordinance of what the amendment is. Does that make sense?
We can do that.
It'd be easier for you.
Yeah.
Than printing that long
Yeah.
paper. Yep, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be an easy change, I think. And
Yeah.
that'll change, we'll move him to seasonal, and
We'll change it to seasonal and then,
I don't think we need to advertise any money, we just need to advertise
No.
the change of the hourly rate for the two mowers. Then, I guess if you get any applications, update them, or do we relist the application with a new pay rate?
and there were, I think it closes tomorrow and
Oh.
there were none so far, so.
Okay. Well, I guess when you relist it, you can relist it with
As a
$15
$15
an hour.
You know, everything has its purpose, but the way Johnny and them did it back in the old days, like she said, I don't know if there's any ordinance or anything else, they just took care of it. And they'd go out and find somebody they had no one working on farm work, put them to work. That worked, but it doesn't work with the law.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now you
And
have
it's
to go
probably
through
easier to get it done.
all the background and all that stuff.
Yeah. all
Is
the-
there any change or any legal to hiring seasonal people that you don't have to go through all that?
She may know, I don't.
I know you don't know wage and labor law really much, but if you're just hiring someone seasonal, do they have to go through the whole hiring process of a county?
Keep commissioners furnished.
I think you still have to go through the hiring process. I don't know though if they're considered, you had that whole, a few minutes ago, you were talking about workers' comp and stuff. I don't know if they qualify for that. We can either send that to Wagner Sealy or I can just do some research on my own to make sure it's sort of an HR issue,
Right.
and an HR question. I don't know if Jennifer knows that. I'm happy to dig into it.
I know the commissioner's attorney basically said we had to have a hiring process, but
Yeah, you probably would
they
know.
didn't care if we even went through them. Just
Right.
whatever we picked, put them to work.
And that's,
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
commissioners don't care, yeah.
Yeah.
that's where I'm at too, but I also don't want to see you get in trouble. You know?
Yeah.
Back in
I
the day,
agree.
you'd
Yeah.
grab breakfast and sit in front of the jail, wait till somebody got released.
Yeah, that
Offer them
happens.
some money to mow.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
Those days are probably coming and gone.
Well, I was at the meeting when they said, yeah, you gotta go through a process,
Okay.
which is. a
What
pain in
happened
the
to
rear,
you
but
usually
we
to
have
check
to-
people out of the jail?
I'm sorry?
What happened to where you used to be able to check people out of jail? Like Marvin Cox, different ones used to give them.
Well, you still have to hire them.
Huh?
I mean, those people were working for private companies, like you might,
Feedback through her.
I mean, like if you was working in your business privately, the judge might order them let out and they'd
Okay.
go to work. In this case, they'd be working with the county,
Okay,
which we still have to do a hiring process.
okay.
And then the company.
I
you
see
work
what
for
you're
pays
saying.
them.
Legality.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you used to be able to get in trouble and get sentenced to like community service hours?
I
think
don't
that's
even
a
know.
thing.
I suppose they're doing, I haven't seen any community service for quite a while.
I planted some mailboxes when I was a kid for that.
Yeah.
So,
All those are good ideas. I just,
I'd rather done the community service than what my dad did to me.
yeah, well, I got both, but definitely learned my lesson. What's up next?
Let's do the auditor. She's here.
You are.
You want to get up there, Miss Jennifer?
yeah, stand out there.
We'll get up there.
I'm gonna mute this before I
Here you go.
Get mute and walk away.
You can get to walk away. There's all your payroll, got the 10% figured in.
Yes.
Miss Jennifer. Okay.
The longevity, we've added that up. It's good. Our office supplies are one that runs a little bit short, but I won't lie to you, every now and then if we get trouble, we'll pull the 100 out of the council for these, when
Right.
these come in for the paper and the binders for this. And
got a
I think there's about
commissioner, too.
750 of the commissioners will do if we need something. That's one we run a little short on. And currently, right now, and this is something I've noticed since my office sits right beside of the commissioner's room, all along that the judge has been there, they come over and make copies and things too. So I think next year when they get moved over here, that will change some. That'll probably help a little bit too. Our postage we're good on. The travel expense, maybe, really no, it should be okay. There will be more training next year, but that will come out, as you said, the elected officials, because everything we go to basically is state called.
Because it's all
Uh-huh.
state board of accounts. So.
One question I had yesterday when
Yeah.
we was going through some people's budgets. I still see a lot of stuff from the, what's the people call it, that does the printers?
Copiers.
Oh, M&M.
M&M, yeah. And I thought with the new computers, and I thought Andrew was gonna try to get everything under one contract.
We did talk about
I mean,
that.
'cause if you look at some people's bids, it's like $6,000-7,000 for M&M, and I thought we was gonna try to wrap that into one contract. So that's what we thought last year. So I didn't know if that's being done or if it's not being done or.
I don't know that it's been done, and
Yeah.
I think, like Jennifer said, whenever the move happens to here,
Yeah.
would be a good time to try to consolidate some of that stuff. The problem I ran into when I started pushing that was some offices have different contracts for different printers, and then how, like, this contract isn't up yet, that one is, and Andrew just, with all that computer switch and everything, pretty much told me I don't have time to dig into it.
But he has helped our office, and I'll tell you, I've got 2 computers. I've got a large one with M&M that's getting a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I've got actually there might be a third one that's, I don't know if that's Jim Gordon or M&M. The one in my office is Jim Gordon. They basically sent a letter saying it's obsolete. We're not going to work with it anymore. The last I spoke to Andrew on that, they were looking to see M&M might take mine over for a smaller fee,
Right.
and we're just going to run it till it dies. Because I did look at, I think it'd be like $3,600 to replace the one in my office, cash out. I can maybe move some personnel funds around where I haven't had a part-time person in there to do that. But I said, I don't know that I want to go ahead and purchase new, because with the buildings going to be over here and the plans that I saw, it looks like maybe the assessor's office and the auditor's office is going to be very close. It may be even if those 2 offices can share.
That's up this hallway, right?
I think it's going to be right behind this wall.
Okay. I think that's what I seen was
That's the way I looked at it. I mean,
go that way.
this is not going to affect me, but I thought, I don't know that we really should be purchasing anything at this point. I think we're just going to try to write ours out as far as they'll go. And then beginning next year, which I know that's in a budget, but I don't know if you want to put it in this. I didn't put anything in for next year, what to do with that. But I thought that might be something that as a whole,
And that makes sense because, when you get over here, they'd probably be, the computer's definitely got to come over, but maybe more
Yes.
printers or more common computer
Yeah.
printer for.
and truthfully, I mean, one of the printers went downstairs with Stacy, or no, it did not. I'm sorry, it stayed over there, but it's not used as much. And then there's one right behind Shasta, and that one's, I think that, and I don't know if that one's Jim Gordon or M&M. I hate that. It might be Jim Gordon. That one's another one that, it's obsolete. I mean, it's obsolete, can't get parts, that kind of stuff you're hearing about. I don't know that we're going to need all that much, because really the great big one just before you come through my door is the one, but now
When everybody burns up.
that's one we're burning up, and it has a lot of, it has a lot of codes that come up and beeps and all like that, but it might be that there'll be next year some things that need to be done, but I just think it might be better to do it after you're moved and you know where things are going to be.
And that's my feeling on it, is like the move to here. And that's one of the reasons I'm thankful for this bond deal. I know people aren't fans of it, but the money's there to be able to do things like that.
Right.
To be able to, because you're not going to, the idea that you're going to move your office to this building and have the same furniture, the same everything is not realistic. The realistic part is once that has a blueprint of that area or it's done and turned over, we're going to need office furniture. We're going to need printers. We're going to need things in there, and every other office the same here. And you're going to need money to do it. Now, at that time, I think we do what Miller's saying, and we go with whether that is put it out to bid, let the commissioners decide a contract annually or whatever. But you go with one company that everybody knows, this is who I call when I have a printer problem. And I think that just makes the things flow a lot better.
Definitely.
But I do agree that
It simplifies everything.
All right. Well, and I believe that the workflow will change once it's over here. So you're going to see a lot of difference than what it is like with the different offices now. So
Well, you're going to be closer to each other. You're not going to be spread out like you are right now.
yeah, that's what I think. So,
Is everybody good with the auditor's budget?
and really like the dues and subscriptions, we use that. It's fairly high for the auditor and her chief deputy.
do we need to look at bringing back, and I say, here's why I say this, the position that was like known as the secretary of the commissioners and the council. Obviously I'm up for reelection. If I'm not here, somebody else is going to take president of this board. or they may anyway next year, and I'll just be a seat. There's a lot of stuff that I do that I don't know anybody else is willing to do, or how do we put that on them? And I know there's a lot of things that the president and the commissioners do that it almost would be nice to have a person that you call, or if people want to know questions of us, they call, and instead of, whoever they get in the auditor's office doing it, there's actually a secretary for these boards that answers the questions, does those agendas, does those resolutions, and all this stuff that we all do that, I think we're almost to the point where it needs to get streamlined, and there needs to be a position. Well, then that person could also help fill in your lunch breaks, your stuff that you all have. And it's been talked about a lot, I think, or a few times or several times, but
Jennifer, don't you have a position that you've never been able to fill?
No,
You've got.
It wasn't
I've got it
funded.
filled.
It
I've
was-
still got a part-time person.
There was one that wasn't funded a while back when they were.
Yeah,
years ago.
When Liz
That one.
retired, you didn't fund
We
it.
didn't refund it.
You did give me that back last year, and that's where Tiffany is today. Yeah, we've run short a person since the beginning of 2025.
One question on your part-time, what is your rate for part-time? So
I have mine at 18.
18. That's
I
just-
did make it a little higher. That even upset the girls in my office. I haven't hired anybody at that rate. I'll be honest with you. It took me 4 tries to get Tiffany in there. But my position is the person who works in there, when they're sitting in that seat, I expect exactly the same from them as I do all 4 of those or all 5 of those other girls. They're doing basically the same job now. As a part-time person, they may not be quite as specialized, but they're going to have to know a lot of it in there.
Mhm.
I still demand the same personnel,
Mhm.
the same confidentiality, the same. It takes a quality person to work there. There's things that you do need, and I'm not saying that's not the same in the courthouse, but there's a lot of stuff that goes through that office that's very sensitive.
Just curious, because I know everybody's got different rates for
That's
part-time. I just want to know what yours was. Thank
That's
you.
what I did. And like I said, have I ever used it? Not yet. So
Gotcha. But you did fill the other position that was missing last year.
yes, it took a little while, but we finally got there. Yes,
So to create a secretary, there would have to be another position
yes.
made and paid and everything.
So
else.
is there a person in that, whatever that role was? I guess there's a job description that was for that years ago, or did
Yes.
that go away?
We changed it too, because really, when you just paid me back for Stacy,
Yeah.
when Stacy left, so there, I guess there's really no one in Liz because Tiffany is basically Stacy.
Stacy.
And I did, we've made Shasta our tax specialist and our settlement specialist because Shasta does all the counter work, like with the veterans and the taxes and the deductions. Tiffany's learning the same thing. But Shasta also does all of our excise that has to be.
So in budgeting, is that the deputy to tax billing? That's where I get confused because.
Well, and we have
You
not
got-
cleaned this up.
Yeah.
It says one thing here, one thing on the
Yeah,
salary
That's
ordinance,
where it's hard to keep.
and our
up.
job descriptions are all over the place. Yes.
I think it ought to, I don't care what somebody's title is for me,
Yeah.
but it ought to say the same on the salary ordinance as what it does on the budget.
I
because
agree
how
with
in the
you.
world do you keep track of where?
I think in the future, if, like you said, once again, if, like in some of the other budgets we look at, it's like, the chief deputy, they had the name beside it.
I can do that,
I think
yes.
that would help.
Yeah.
And that way you can put a name to the face,
Yeah.
to the position. So in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think we could go through
Yeah.
whatever title we've given
Yeah.
the people. Like
So-
I know bookkeeper / accounts payable is Mandy,
That's Mandy.
but technically she's known as on the salary ordinance as something else. Isn't it?
Hang on the salary ordinance, she's still listed as a bookkeeper.
Okay.
But really, she does accounts payable and probably 50 to 75% of our accounts receivable.
Yeah.
Kinley was doing the other 25 to 50 or
Most of
25
all
to
claims
50%.
that come in and checks that go out, Mandy's. the
That's
go.
Mandy. That's Mandy.
I don't know. That's just,
Yeah.
I think every year we talk about fixing something. I think that would be a huge fix
Mm-hmm.
for someone who walked into this
Yes.
to sit down and be like, well,
Well, if we did that, that would be maybe her part-time person too, would qualify for that position. And then still be able to take care of the commissioners and take the pressure off of you. And
That would be helpful because I'll be honest, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, so. But yeah,
You spend enough hours here anyway, and then you have to stay for all the meetings, and take minutes.
Well, and honestly, we've had Heather do some of the resolution, and we do a lot more resolutions and ordinances than past councils. I agree with that. But we've had Heather do some that we pay way more than what we should to an attorney.
Look,
I've typed some, you've typed some, Kenley's typed some. I just think it would.
really,
it would
it's
almost
easier
be
to be
more-
done in my office, especially if you've got two people that work back and forth, like if the chief deputy and the deputy and the auditor are working on that, because then you kind of catch the mistakes. I don't always, when they're sent in, like what Heather sends in, it was kind of like that resolution bond that was sort of all over the place. We don't proofread that because it's in the folder, it goes out. That's there. There's just not enough time to look at everything you want to look at, quite frankly.
Well, and that's why I almost think it would be nice to have a go-to person who works here, fills the part-time void here and there, does whatever, but also their job is getting paperwork ready for all of these 10 elected officials who have to make decisions.
What, you said you did not replace Liz on your paper?
Really, I was gonna say I replaced Liz because that's where I think I put Tiffany, but actually Tiffany is when Stacy went downstairs.
So,
She's not doing the cartography work, but she is doing the counter work.
Okay.
And Liz did counter work, and Liz was what Shasta did. Liz did my excise, and she did the tax.
I know since I've been in office, we've not had a secretary for the
No.
council or.
No, there has not been,
So
and that's something
been
that's
3 years-
definitely
3 years
needed. Yes.
plus. So when you came in, you didn't have that in your office either,
No,
did you? So
did
how
not.
far does that go back when they did have a secretary to do that? Do you have any idea on
I'd
that?
have to go back and
We never
look.
had one, did we?
We ever had one?
Well, there were,
There's
I don't
kind of
know
been
if there
some
was-
job
yeah,
descriptions,
job descriptions.
but I don't know if there's ever really been a
It's
person.
somebody that's already working there.
Yeah, I think someone was.
But
Here's
traditionally,
what I remember back in like 23 was my first year, and I was like, well, what does this person do? Because then again, they had a title on one of these documents that said Secretary of Commissioner and Council, but that's not really what that particular person did.
No.
They did something completely different. So I think that's how the position, not really the person, got eliminated.
Can I throw this out with you take the part-time position and take that money and pay one of the ladies in your office more money to do the secretary work for the commissioners?
You could, but they're pretty busy right now with what
So
they've
you
got.
can't- So
You
you'd
would
almost
really-
have to have another position.
Yeah,
Okay,
really, you
just
almost
asking.
Need another person. And you might be able to take that money and keep it as a part-time person. I don't know what all it would take.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with what comes in between the commissioners and the council. It's a lot.
Well, I just know last year we talked about having another person come in to do the secretary work and also to relieve people on your lunch breaks, to relieve you some and to help out. And that never happened. So I didn't know if that was a part-time position we was going to do and you was going to hire for. I just remember we talked about it last year at budgets. So
Right.
I do remember that.
I was just thrilled to get a person to take Stacy because there's always some counter traffic. And really, since we put in the allow tax system, I wasn't sure. It's probably gone down a little bit. Like I said, for Stacy to go downstairs has helped some, but the veterans has bumped up so much more that it hasn't really been a dip in our office yet. That how many people come to the counter.
Definitely something to look at, I guess. But I think there's a need for it.
Oh, I know there is. Yeah.
Eliminate a lot of.
There is a lot of stuff in our office that I had hoped to get done in these 4 years that I won't because we've just been so understaffed. And the thing is, I work a lot of 12-hour days and I still can't get to a lot of this.
well, I know this, and it wouldn't matter the year or who it was. During the day, most of your time in the office is people coming in and out wanting to
There's
ask
a lot of
questions.
that, yes.
Maybe the public. So if you didn't have your staff getting it done, it wouldn't get done. And I also know that you, and I'm gonna say anybody that sits in that chair is gonna be working late.
Exactly.
There's just
Yes.
no way, because once you get done with the public service part of it all day long, then you get the work done. So,
That's very true.
yeah.
And just something we can look at when we start doing budgets. So,
Yep.
dive into that.
What else we doing? You wanna do the commissioners one, Nick?
Yeah. You didn't want to make any changes on this one, did you? Other than you can look at an extra person.
You take that part-time, make another full-time.
Be another $20,000 at least.
Just a thought.
Alright. Here's my complaint with the commissioners one. We never know what insurance is gonna be, which is the biggest expense.
No, we don't. But I'm going to say this, even though last year we changed at, I can't even call it the 11th hour. It was the
Yeah.
12th hour.
The craziest-
Shepherd Insurance is so easy to work with. I cannot tell you how it was stressful. There was a lot of things to do at the end of the year. They are beyond phenomenal.
How's the money part? Are they good? Bad?
I think I have not seen anything that says here's this. The one thing I haven't seen, I was thinking about, but we are still in July, it could be next year. Usually at this time, we would get a workman's comp audit that we owed more money. I have not seen that yet, if that's going to happen. I will say this, Austin Acres, Joe Joey, is it Joe? Bukowski, Christy Walker, they came in and had a meeting with us maybe 2 months ago, just to kind of tell us. Of course, they only had a couple of months of information so far. We have never had this since I've been in office. They came in and I didn't think about it. Trina and I sat with them. That should be something that next time that we decide to do that, we're going to bring in the whole insurance board and say, here, and they're going to lay out the claims we have, where we're running, stuff like that. So they keep you up to date so much better than what we had before.
We do a vehicle audit with them like we did. The one year we got stuck, and I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just saying, it was what, December, and all of a sudden we got that astronomical bill for vehicles. I don't want to be in that shape again.
We get a lot of surprise, or we don't now. We used to get a lot of surprises. One of the things in the Wells guy, and that's not been addressed just right yet, there's supposed to be an audit, and I'm not sure like our vehicles, and I don't have time to walk around and look and see what's out there. I don't have a person, but that's something. And one of the things one of the counties does is when they do that, they make the department take a picture and send it in. That when they do the new vehicle inventory list, there's a picture sent over.
Well, the other
They
part
should
of
be
it is,
sending over a title.
The-
Every vehicle.
The titles should all be in my office. They're not.
That's-
And there's a few, because some of them, that was one thing. And there's a department I need to catch up with.
I
But
mean, the
there's some.
picture's great, but if you don't have that
Yeah.
title.
And the thing is, you don't know what you don't have.
It's exactly
So
right.
that was one of the things. It was an insurance audit that caught that we didn't have. Now, I think that's been remedied. I'll make sure that it has been.
well, another municipality that I'm familiar with got dinged because hail damage came through. They sent a vehicle out, fixed it. It had a salvage title, and government is a no-go on running a vehicle on a salvage title. So had to do something different with that, even though thought we were saving money fixing it. Apparently you can't in Indiana have that. So I didn't know that. It was a lot learning to me, but
Well, we should be able to walk in anytime into her office and have a title for every vehicle in this county.
oh, I agree. But there again, that's where you get in the mud of county government. What right does one elected official have over another?
Well, the commissioners
Well-
own the vehicles, so.
Here's the
Some of them.
commissioners own, or if it is commissary, that'll be something different. I
Right.
understand
But
that.
the commissioners still own the vehicle, no matter where it's paid for.
I don't-
They do.
Not anymore.
When that changed.
With this commissioner board, I think there's some that are titled in what commissary or something.
That's what I think. I don't know that, but I think
I
so.
think reserve-
And I think that they would, and I think our attorney would agree with me that, that's the commissioner's cars,
Oh, I-
vehicles.
Hey, I agree with you. I'm just telling you, I don't think that's how it is, so I don't.
Well, that's.
Well, no, legally, you can't buy a car under those statutes. Sign a contract for a car, it has to go through the commissioners, and the statute says that it has to be in the name of the county.
That's right.
So even if it's bought with commissary funds, it doesn't matter what fund it is, everything has to be in the
It's not
name
a
of the county and
department
go through the
vehicle.
commissioners.
It may have,
But like even all those military vehicles that
They belong to the county.
they get, I don't
And
know.
I'm not
that
sure we've got
Our
titles for
commissioners
those.
don't push those through, I don't think.
And that's not us.
Well, then the problem becomes like James said, how's it insured?
Exactly.
What happens if,
Well, they're taking the titles and showing it all to the insurance company.
so we pay the insurance, we just don't own the car.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah. I got a couple of them. How many you need?
So the commissioner's all out of general, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
All it is.
That's a big chunk.
Yeah, it's a huge chunk. It, for 26, it's $3,735,929.
And the total with the 10% raise is 3,831,000.
831. So let's see. I'll try to run through here and see if I can see anything that's changed. I know we talked animal shelter. It went up a little bit.
The animal shelter's up, and then the professional services. That's
It
what
should
we
go down
continue.
if we're taking our own out.
It has not.
Yeah, I think it should because we were told we have to pay our own. I seen that video, which is fine with me. Theirs is what's 70,000. What's it at in here?
85.
Yeah, I think you can go to about 50. Is there a way in Lao, you know more about it than I do, Jennifer, to see like that particular line, what's paid out of it, or is it just
Yeah.
you got to pull their
Go to a combination, go to ledgers.
reports, cash ledgers,
Underneath, there'll be combined ledger.
and then it says by fund, ledger, location.
I always do the next to last one. I think it's combined ledger by date.
Yeah, by date span,
Yeah.
by location and date span. All right, combined all detail, and then you just put in.
And you could either do all detail, you can do totals only. Well, all detail is what you'd want if you want to see what's been out there.
Gotcha. Learn something about this thing every day. That's one thing. I wish they had like a training class.
They do.
I've never-
You only have to call them. I mean, or if you ask, we'll get people. You could come in. I mean, we can train you on it. Just
I'm
have to,
all like self-taught dummy sitting on a kitchen table. I've got fairly decent at it, I guess, but yeah, I'll be
Half
on
what he
Facebook.
Self-taught, you know. Won't call it the dummy.
Actually, I can't say that. I have to give Nick some credit. He came and sat at my house one night, showed me how to use some of this thing. So that'd be the next Facebook Live. He's a dummy. Yep. There it is. All right. Their professional services has paid. It actually does say budget services. The Bowl, Stover, and Graves, I think that was the attorneys. The Baker Tilly. What's employer? Oh, our 457 and 401 plans. They pay
Yes.
those.
Yeah.
J&C printing for trash labels. Why are we
Yeah.
still buying those? Oh, it still was.
that should have been in 25.
That's 26.
Well,
So it's
okay.
probably a 25 bill.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, probably there.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The Lewis and Caps bill,
Mhm.
Vector Security, Wagner and Shealy stuff. What is Vector Security? We pay them.
I think they're the ones that do. We'd have to ask Andrew, but I think they're the ones that do the security on the doors. I think that might be our badges.
Gotcha. So. Oh, yeah. Other than the bills that's here, some of these, that's the only thing that we've paid out of it, but most of it goes to Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy.
Mhm.
Well, if you want to complain about Baker Tilly, you ought to see their bills. There's one for $12,891. Go for people. But so they've spent 57,000 out of theirs this year so far. What do you guys want to put on that line for professional services? If we're keeping 10 or 15,000 of our own, there's not going to be a bond, hopefully to God, this year. So that would eliminate a lot of cost. Not
What
going
was
to
that
be,
last year, 70?
yeah.
I'd say just take.
Let me check the year before. I can do that real quick.
So what do you want?
Professional services was 40,000 in 2025.
You wanna do that?
I'd say we take it back to that.
Go back to 40. The legal fees, murder case was 15,000. That's pretty much where it stays. Attorney was 24,300 in 25. It is, I don't have any idea what Alex's contract is.
It's 48. It's the same as Alex, or as Zach's was.
Okay. So it stays at 48. Man, that went up a lot. The special judge, I think, stays pretty much the same. Some of those they don't use, the additional attorney expenses.
That's true. But if that money's not in there
And you-
and these things need to be done, and then we have to take the time to advertise and get them appropriated and get them in there, that runs us behind.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, I think. a
I
lot
mean,
of-
some of this could be something you could do an additional if it wasn't so long of a time period.
Well, one thing about it, everything in this account that they don't use goes back to the general.
I don't think they
Yes.
ever use it. It's just,
I know we discussed it, I just couldn't remember if it was a one-time thing or.
I think we took some money out of it one time, but I don't think they ever have used the murder case thing.
Like I said, one thing about their budget, like I say, everything here that they don't use, it's gonna go, they're gonna revert back to the general anyway, so. You know, you got the 10% on the salaries and then, you know, you don't know what the insurance is gonna be, so. That's what is on this.
Burial and stone setting, in 26, we only put $1,000 in there.
Mhm.
They've spent 600 and there's 400 left in it. Do we want to, it's listed as $10,000 for 27. Is that a misprint?
No, I think that's where it had been and previously, and we put it back, but we did change it to 1,000 last year, so.
We can go
Is
back
that
to
something through the
1,000.
veterans office or what is that?
I thought the veterans had that too. I think
Is that
that's
what
what,
the veterans-
I think
yeah.
that's what we
That's
took
what-
it back. I thought that's what we took it back down to 1,000. They spent 600.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that burial and stone setting is for like indigent, no family, has to
That
be
makes sense.
taken care of.
Yeah.
And I believe that comes with maybe a recommendation from the coroner that they can't locate anybody in the county who assumes the responsibility of proper burial.
Mhm. And should be.
No, I agree. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's not
Yeah.
needed. I just don't think $10,000 is needed. Hopefully we don't have that many.
So what was it last year?
1,000
We spent
and we
600.
spent 600 out of it.
1,000?
That's what I think. Again, I think that's something, if you had an issue, you could do a transfer or plan for.
Yeah.
Animal testing, that was, we've not used any of it, so that $1,000.
Is that,
Guessing
again, is
that's-
that,
I think that's for dog bites. People
that
get
would be
hurt.
nothing through animal control or?
I don't know if they cover that or not. Honestly, I can ask
I've
Jan.
had 2 employees this year got bit by dogs, so it's not a pretty sight, so.
Well, I agree. I'm with you. I think we need this.
We definitely need
I
it.
think
figuring
there's
out
something
exactly
in
who-
there, but I don't know, and I don't know if I've seen a claim come through on any of that.
I don't know that we've ever paid out of it.
Just say 500, so there's still money in it, but
Yep, we can do that.
Sounds good to me.
The legal notices, that pays for all of them, I think, right?
Yes, it
Do we
does.
still-
Well, it does for what comes through my office. And like highway department, but now Stacy has her own, Michelle has her own.
So is that still a thing, or with the new gateway?
Yes.
is that
Even with Gateway,
You still
if
have
you
to
look, we're running pretty short on that. But like the things like the request for proposal that went out on this, there's a lot of the court ones go through here. So, well, actually,
I thought Michelle had some for courts.
I was gonna say some of ours go through, and I don't know if it's the claims that go. Mandy's got to turn those in. No, it's the court claims.
Court claims.
So I think Michelle does the advertising, if it's for what has to, the works that are done up there, I guess.
Okay.
But I think the claims is what Mandy has to do. But yeah, we haven't sent any of our additionals or anything like that through there. But we're still, I looked at that the other day, and it may not make it through the year.
The official bonds, it's got 10,000, it's had 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
We've spent 4750 more out of it, there's 5,000 in it.
I would say, well, we had changing. That was one thing. We've had issues with the bonds this year. It's taken a long time to get those lined out, but I'm not so sure we always did them correctly before. And I think there was done more correctly this time, but this has been a little harder. But again, like I said, we changed in December, we changed insurance in December, and that's part of our insurance group.
just leave the ball
So-
like it is.
Yeah, I would just leave that alone.
All right.
Or I mean, you could maybe cut it a little, I'm not sure,
Yeah, we can.
but
The building vehicle insurance, I think that's been 200, we pay it out. Does it need? it
I would
needs
just
to stay
kind
that, I
of
think,
leave them alone. I
right? And I
would,
think liability and work comp,
yeah.
Same
It's-
thing.
pretty on par. I mean, there's only 1.5% left in it.
Yeah.
Pigeon Roost Utilities. Is there any expected raises in that? I know utilities are probably.
I know they had a tree knock the line down here a couple of months ago. All the lights were out there. Like, I don't know where that was paid out of. They had to call the electric company or just come in and repair it.
Well, if it's on them though, they cover that.
You're right on. With the 500, we're 56% of it left, so about
Yeah.
halfway through the year. think.
Well, I checked Monday, we're 43% of anything that in these budgets is 43% or more. Of course, that's not fair when you're looking at this. That was printed
Right.
a couple of weeks ago, but I mean, we're at 43% on Monday, so.
Repairs and maintenance.
I added to that, and that was there was 5,000 in there originally. And then there was a quote from, we talked about this yesterday, TAG, I think it might have been, to repair the awnings on the 911 and community corrections. That was, I can't remember if it was just under 14,000 or just over. It was right at that amount. I rounded it to 15,000 because that quote was, I think, from May of 25.
Was that just for those two?
Yeah.
One time they were talking about them on the chair or something.
There was, and I checked, it
So-
did not include those. That was not the same quote.
Would
so.
we be better off to leave their 5 in there and put the 15 under a capital outlay as a project under buildings?
If you want to do that, that's fine. I just want to, that's where I put
And
it.
then that way it's earmarked, that's what it's for, and we've taken care of that problem. Would that be better, you guys think?
Sounds good to me.
So we'll,
At least
We'll
it'd be easier to understand later.
yeah, we'll mark repairs and maintenance to 5,000, which is what's been there. And then back on the back page under capital outlays, put awnings.
Building, under buildings.
Yeah.
You got a number for that? Or
It'd be the 15,000, but I don't have a
Yeah.
I
line.
did not see that.
Jennifer
Oh,
will
down
find the
here,
number
okay.
and put it in there, whatever the
Okay.
line is, I'm sure.
Okay.
But that way, at least it's earmarked, that's what it's for. We know that project's taken care of.
How much we putting down again?
15
Okay.
in the back.
It's still the same money.
Yes, it is. It's
It's just
just,
taking out different lines.
I think it's just the proper way to do it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Just a question on the commissioner's budget while we're talking about building maintenance and stuff. are we budgeting anything for the update to the courthouse and the remodel of City Hall?
I have not.
We don't have.
We haven't yet, but that's what,
Well, I mean, we knew just a few renovations in City Hall was gonna be a little bit more than $250,000, so I'm thinking we need to be cognizant of the fact somewhere along the way, it's probably gonna be $1 million, $1.5 million to renovate City Hall and the courthouse.
right.
So I would just keep that in mind. We're already at 3-point-something million for the commissioners. It could go up as high as 5 or 6. But I don't know where they're at in the RFP process. I'll check with Alex on that.
The RFPs are due back Wednesday,
Wednesday. And then they'll be open.
Or just the remodel, right?
just for this building.
Just this building.
Okay, okay.
But that was beginning at $250,000, so I mean, you probably, by the time you get furniture and people in here, you're knocking on $500,000, I'd say.
That Andrews fees ain't gonna.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, because it didn't include IT, so that's,
It'll just run one more entire thing together.
Yeah.
that's gonna be, I'd be shocked if your renovations and moving into this building is less than $500,000. I would just be,
I'd be shocked it wasn't more than that.
that's what I'm saying, if it's less than that, I'd be surprised.
We
Drug,
can't figure enough for that until they get the bids back, until they vote and who they're gonna use.
That's right, yeah.
And you know, while we're on that, I don't know. I mean,
I mean, you
we
can't,
think we got enough money to do all this?
not if everybody's beating the door down saying
I'm just
return the bond
asking.
money.
I mean,
I'd
I
say
know what we
absolutely
have
not.
to pay in a normal year. And it's not gonna be just fixing it up. It's gonna be paid for monthly.
We'll figure out tomorrow what,
What kind of money we got to cover
Yeah.
normal budget, then outside of that.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
Jennifer said yesterday we would end the year with $4,063,189 in general.
If there are no
No
more
more
additionals.
additional.
We
That's what it's showing
got 5 months of that. so
But-
that's-
You
that's
know
what
there
we-
won't be no more additional.
Yeah. no,
Yeah. They'll be having the next day.
She's saying $4,063,189.
We just want to advertise. I get that.
But then that does include the money we put into general from the bond.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But that's where,
Because it was 3.2 million something without the bond money.
and don't get me wrong, I understand the bond isn't a happy topic. None of us were like bounding to get in here to pay it. But at the end of the day, when you're sitting here, you're looking at all this budget stuff, and we ain't even talked revenue yet to come offset some of it. But I guarantee you, between the courthouse renovation and moving and this building renovation and moving, if you're not $1 million or $1.5 million, you're living in a dream world.
But it's still better than 16 million
It
what he was gonna
absolutely is.
mandate.
And that's what I was going to next. And I'm glad you brought that up, is the option was take a bond for 14 to 16 million dollars to add on to that courthouse. And
Not bad, yeah.
you would have been paying.
But I don't think it was ever actually mandated.
No,
No, but it was
But
threatened.
It was threatened.
It was being known.
it was
could
filed
be.
and noticed.
Yeah.
But no, it never went as far as a mandate, but that was the option on the table. And at the time,
Scared us to
commissioners
death.
were willing to enter into that.
When you first get on this council and that's the first thing they slap you in the face with, it kind of really makes things set a little rough there.
Yep. So the purchase of this building was $600,000, came from ARPA. I do understand that is a big chunk and people weren't happy with that. But there's your option, is to buy this, find a way to renovate it and get in here, or bite the bullet, take a $16 million bond. And if you're not happy with the payment on a $4 million bond, I'd hate to see what it is on a $16 million bond that you're gonna pay. And
How
you're
many more
still
years do we have on the sheriff's
on the jail?
jail?
It
Yeah.
should end in, we can ask Paige tomorrow, but
I can-
9 or 10 years.
Give me a few minutes and I'll find it
31,
out.
isn't it, is the ending?
That far off, I thought it was,
Maybe 29, 20, from 29 to 31. But,
it drops drastically as
Yeah.
far
Yes.
as interest.
I know when I was
Interest
commissioner, it was 13 years when I left there, and that's only been 4 years ago.
and it's, one of them comes up in, I think the TIF district bond for Austin Tri-Hawk is the first one, and it ends February
6 years
29.
ago. That'd be
And the next one is,
Yeah.
I want to say it's early 2030s, but I can't remember exactly. I can get it, but
We're still.
there's still a few years to pay on it, but we couldn't even remotely match the interest rate of that one
Oh, no.
whenever we looked at this bond we currently have. So, the one we currently have is with a local bank. It is at a good interest rate. I think it's 5, get it, it's 5 something. And it's locked in and there's no penalty to pay it off. So once all this moving and everything's done, if you had, you know, an extra 100,000 a year you could throw on it, absolutely you could. And you're not going to get penalized if you pay it off.
Well, and with the actions of our treasurer, what he's been doing too, he's been making
The
the county
investment,
money
yeah.
and by investing, and that's a good thing too. We're getting some of our revenue back by him investing it.
One more
Kudos to him.
since this council's been here, more departments are self-sufficient.
Absolutely.
They're standing on their own. And even today, the area plan coming here, I've never heard of their revenue before. And she hands papers that they're making 20 grand a year. Not a huge money, but that's huge for them.
Mhm.
And it's huge whenever you don't have to take it out of the tax roll.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, I think all of that gets overlooked by somebody beating the drum of, you know, you went and took a bond. Yeah, we did. And people do it every day. How many bonds do the school systems around here have? And they're gonna get more.
He just got one too, didn't
Yeah. Both school systems got them. And they're going to. That's how government works. But if you're gonna renovate a building that you bought and you're gonna take care of it, you're gonna move people in here. Right now, we're paying quite a bit for a meeting space, to be quite honest. That's the only thing we do in this whole building. And that's the astronomical. If you want to be beating the door down, why don't we do that?
Repair and maintenance will always be 2 to 3 times the purchase.
Sure.
All that, so.
And this
So that's
isn't,
what you gotta add into it.
and this isn't a new building by any means.
No,
It's old.
Probably 100 years old.
But
But there's not much renovation needs to be done either.
I agree. And like I said, for the money that they quoted, I was more than happy with that number. And I hope their RFP's close to that and we can get this moving because
The initial estimate we thought was, everybody was saying around 300,000 is what we thought we could do
right.
this building for.
And I think we're right on track with
I
that.
think we're close.
Now I think IT and, you know, we need to buy a new desk or whatever. That's going to be above and beyond that. And I get that. I'm not naive enough to think you can go over there
That
and
side
dig
could
around
be
and
more
find what you
expensive than
need.
this side.
Uh,
I say that side of the building could be more expensive than this side
Exactly,
over here.
yeah.
And the courthouse is going to be more expensive than this.
But we're
Absolutely.
getting 4-H and stuff away from the prosecutor or the probation, where people are coming in there that's sex offenders and everything else, and you got young kids walking in there in 4-H that don't need to be around any of that.
Well, how do you sign a new kid up for 4-H and go down there and try to meet them for the first time? And like you said, you have registered sex offenders standing next door trying to check in the probation. It's a bad situation that is getting fixed. And I think, like the words of Judge Mount, trust the process.
Yeah, and he's been very patient with us too.
And
we
he has
greatly
very
appreciate
much.
that.
But even our probation is on 2 different floors.
Yeah.
How confusing is that for someone who got in trouble, has to go check in, pay your fees? You don't know whether you're going upstairs or down.
And there's some talk about security over here now.
What they said yesterday.
Hmm?
That's what they said.
I don't know that it's needed now, but I
Well,
think it's
I
needed
mean,
once it's up and operational.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Can we take a break and we'll go eat lunch until we get the other meetings come back after lunch?
Yeah.
Because I need to go do it.
We'll go ahead and finish the commissioners.
Yeah, let's run some. There's only like
got overridden.
a few lines on the back. The drug, I got carried away. Drug testing and background has been 5,000, it's staying at 5,000. We talked about animal shelter, sheriff pension balance. It stays the same at 240. Dues and subscriptions, I think that stays the same as well. That pays their dues. Does anybody know what the patient in institutions, what we pay with that?
That's for community corrections, and I'm not certain on that, but I think it's where they run into people. That doesn't go through the jail, but if they have to get medical
Really?
treatment.
Well, stand corrected. I've always thought all along community corrections was 100% grant based, but apparently not. Learn something every year.
Probably started out that way.
That exam of records, we had to add money to that, didn't we?
We did, and I think we're pretty lean in that right now, that was the one I looked at last. But I don't know what else is coming through. That one might be better just to start at that number, and then if you have to do an additional. Because like I said, this year, our audits are already complete for the year. So
It's
that's
got-
already done.
$34,000 in it right now. So you
Oh,
spent
that's more than I thought.
you
Okay.
spent $65,258 this year if it's done.
And I was gonna say, I don't know if ours has come out. The last one we had, we didn't get the bill a long time ago, so I'm not sure if it's gone through yet. It was down to 14,000, which was a really lot better number than what we've had in the past.
The indirect cost contract.
That one, I believe I changed. Let's see. Yeah, that went back to
you took it
4,000.
4,500.
And the reason was that was marked as 13,000, but that was 13,000 across the 3-year period. So that'll go into, I think 28 is when that'll be renewed. So next year again, it'll still be 45.
What the tax sale contract, is that a contract for who does our tax sale?
Yes, that's through SRI.
We've only paid them $1,800.
Well, because we haven't had our tax sale, it won't be till September the 9th. So
Okay.
that's ones that's
Makes
always at the end of the year.
And I would like to talk to the VA whenever they come in about these next two lines, just because I feel like they ought to be in their budget.
Yeah, we had discussions
We
about that
talked
last
about it
year.
But he was so new, I think we didn't do it. But maybe this year, I would like to move those two lines to theirs if possible, because I think our VA representative ought to handle adding names to the memorial and flags for veterans' graves and have that ability to have those money in his.
I know down at the Legion, every year they start reminding me about it.
Well, and if he
We
has
pay
the money, then I think we know where it's at, where we got into this with like jury and all that. It was in so many different budgets. It's hard to keep track of.
Mhm.
And I think for
I
me, it
think the
makes
commissioners
sense.
sometimes will throw off.
Right. It makes sense
It is,
to,
yeah.
we have a VA representative. They have a budget. It's out of general. We move these two lines to them. But I would like to talk to him about it when he comes in, about those. But the 3,000's there. It's been there. It's not been touched. It's sitting at 100%. Property tax refunds, it was 15,000 this year. They've spent 10,850 out of it, so there's 4,000 left in that.
Just keep it at 15.
I'm good with all those. Anybody, anything else on those?
Commissioner budget.
Easy enough. Take a break, go get some lunch. The next
We're gonna
one,
adjourn for lunch.
yeah,
Next meeting's at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. We'll be back.
Hour and a half. One of them will get out the door.